Shalom, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining us. We're here located live in Houston, 8524 South Braeswood, Houston, Texas, 77071. All right. A couple of announcements we got going on is the sisters are they're collecting items for each week to give to the need. All right. So anybody who has extra sweaters or jackets or toys, all right, you guys can drop that off here. All right, and at the same time, if you're in need of a jacket or toys, all right, please let us know so we can help. All right, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are class times. Monday and Wednesdays are from 7 to 10. Fridays are from 6 to 9. All right, and Saturday morning Sabbath class is from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. All right. Let me see. Kids class. All right, we've been doing kids classes. That's every Sunday from 11 to 12 p.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Time. All right, these classes are recorded and then they're posted up on the ISBHPK Kids. All right, and if you guys are in San Antonio and you guys want to join in class and fellowship with the brothers, you can do so. And the address out there is 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78217. All right. We're also out in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. All right. So if you want to join out there and you're in the area, the address out there is 501 Copper Avenue, Northwest Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87102. All right. And if you have any questions outside of class or like during off class days or whatever, you feel free contact Priest Kazakia or Priest Ahawam. Priest Kazakia is 321-960-8411. And Priest Ahawam, his number is 832-941-2443. All right, and if you're not mobile, if you don't have a cellular phone, you can contact us on the web or our Gmail account, I'm sorry. It's hiddentruth12@gmail.com. Or ISBHPK. All right?
Gmail.
At gmail.com. ISBHPK@gmail.com. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to give everybody time to log in because we know it's early. Go ahead, like, share, and we're going to open it up. First hour of questions. See if anybody has any questions.
There is a question I want to answer for a sister that she's kind of been asking this question for a second. So we're going to try to make it quick without taking up the whole class. Let me get this link out real quick. Let me share this link real quick, and then we'll go into that. We have a sister from Oklahoma. Her and her husband, they had a question on the feast days. So we're going to touch on that real quick. Kind of give the basics of it. That way if she missed anything, if they missed anything on that, they can get a little better understanding. Okay, so if you brothers and sisters do have any questions, go ahead and go on. And you can hit us up. You know how we do. All right. So the sister's question was on the feast days. Okay, and the new moons. And the new moon. So we're going to just touch on a little bit of that. Because the high holy days, all our high holy days is based on the new moons. Okay. And this is where the book of Enoch, I heard somebody said that the book of Enoch was basically said we don't supposed to do it by the new moon. So this is where how you know that book is off and why we don't use it, because it's going against the scriptures. It's going against what the Bible says. So this is why we don't deal with those books. Once again, the book of Enoch is off in saying that the new moon or the lunar calendar is wrong. We don't supposed to go by the new moon. So we got to understand this. Go to real quick 1 Corinthians 14:33. Go to 1 Corinthians 14:33 real quick.
1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 33.
Yeah, wait to let them get it real quick. I'm looking for this one scripture here. Okay, go ahead and read that.
I'm sorry, 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 33. For the Most High is not the author of confusion.
Right, read it again.
For the Most High is not the author of confusion.
Right, so the Most High is not the author of confusion. The Bible isn't meant to bring more confusion. The confusion comes when you lack understanding, lack wisdom, or you lack studying, and a lot of times you bring in outside stuff that don't coincide with the Bible. So, and I haven't dabbed in the book of Enoch or read it myself, but I know that I've had somebody come and say, "Yeah, we don't supposed to go by the new moons." I'm like, "What are you talking about? The new moon is in the Most High told us by the moons, right?"
Genesis 1 and 14.
Yeah, so this is Genesis 1 verse 14. Go back there real quick and then give me 1 second here. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. And the Most High said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night."
Right. So the Most High said there's going to be lights in the firmament of heaven that divide the day from the night. Okay. Go ahead.
And let them be for signs.
Let them be for what?
Signs.
For what?
Signs.
Go ahead.
And for seasons.
And we just did a cable show on the Zodiac. So look out for that. That's going to be coming exclusive through the cable show. Okay? It's supposed to be for signs. For what else?
For seasons.
For what?
For seasons.
For seasons. Go ahead.
And for days.
And for what?
Days.
Go ahead.
And for years.
And for years. So I don't understand where these guys get this from. But once again, when you got people just coming up with stuff out of their a-hole and newly sprung up doctrines here and there, you can see where all this stuff comes from. The scriptures plainly tells us in the beginning that they're for signs and seasons. Okay, now we're gonna go into the new moon and show that our feast days were celebrated according to these new moons. So I got something here, and this is a good this is a biblical encyclopedia, just to give you a little definition of the new moon. It says, in Hebrew, the word Kadash is applied to the new moon, as well as the lunar month. Among the Israelites, the new moon, which marked the beginning of the new month, was based not upon astronomical observation, but upon the visible by the eyewitness The celebration of the new moon feast was announced by the blowing of trumpets and celebrated with additional sacrifices. So, this is once again our high holy days, our customs was around these new moons. You can kind of tell the signs, the seasons by the new moon. So when it would start, when it would finish. So we know this. We know that Daniel's 8:25, and we touched on this the other day, that they changed times, seasons, laws. So we go by the best of our ability. That's how we have to figure these things out. And, you know, if we go according to their timeline, we know the Greeks started time all over again. The Romans started time all over again when they came into power. So we're not trying to technically go back and say, well, if the beginning was here and then the time period of the Romans started here, we don't have to worry about that. Let's go according to the new moon. Let's see when it starts, and then go on and continue to celebrate our high holy days, observe off of that. And that's where our high holy days are set up. The new moons, where you got so the high holy days, go back to feast real quick. And just to shoot them off to you, right? You got Nisan, okay, which is in April. Ayar, and let me start with Nisan, which is the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, okay, which is in late March, early April. Okay, then you got Ayar, which would be May, and Sibian, which would be June. Okay, which is the Feast of Pentecost. Okay. Now remember, we came out of Egypt, the Passover. That's where that comes from. The Passover comes from us coming out of Egypt. The Feast of Unleavened Bread comes from us coming out of Egypt. When we came out of Egypt, what happened? We didn't eat bread that had leaven in it.
Right.
Okay? So, you know, like I said, we're not gonna go all the way over the Passover, all the way over. We're just giving like the basics of these things. So, so you got the Feast of Unleavened Bread that comes after the Passover. So, of course, all of our high holy days have importance in them, and usually it's really when you look at our high holy days, they were us coming out of some type of condition.
Right.
And the Most High delivering us. Feast of Pentecost, that's the harvest, right? And also, I like how they throw in here a little bit at the anniversary of the giving of the law on Mount Sinai. But we know when we go to the scriptures, we count 50 days after the Passover, okay, which was 7 weeks, okay? And that would be Pentecost. Right? Penta is 5, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. It represents 50, the 50 days. All right? So, then you had, that's April, May, June. You see how everything starts in the new year. It starts with the Passover because that's when everything new began. Late March, early April. But also, we were brought out of Egypt. Everything new. You see that? So, then you have after that the Feast of Trumpets, the memorial of blowing of the trumpets. Okay? Which was the beginning of the civil year. Okay? So, memorial of the Feast of Blowing of the Trumpets. Okay, so what did so we got the Pentecost. All right, so the Pentecost, then the Feast of Trumpets, This was held on the first day of the 7th month, Tishra, or October, which is the civil year. Okay, it corresponds to the new no, evening orange trumpets. Right. So once again, after the exile, we observe the public. We observe that day. We're reading and coming together. All these high holy days. Let's get this right. All these high holy days are holy convocations. Now, look up convocation real quick. I want you to look up convocation because I'm answering and I'm going over it like this because the sister wanted to kind of know what to do on these days. Mm-hmm. Okay?
God.
All these were holy convocations. Convocation. Go ahead and read that.
Convocation. A large formal assembly of people.
Right. A large formal assembly of people. Check this out. Because a lot of people want to know, well, what do we do on these days? Well, we know we don't sacrifice no more. We know we don't do those things. Right?
Right.
Because Christ was the last sacrifice. So what are you doing on these days? Really, it's just getting together and partying and celebrating. Except for one day, which is the Day of Atonement, which is after the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay?
God.
That's the only high holy day that you really ain't partying and eating and stuff.
Basically, that was the only day.
Right? So read what else you got.
It said the action of calling people together for a large formal assembly.
Right. The action of calling people together for a large formal assembly. All right. And I'm going to read here. This is in Exodus 12, verse 16. And this is the Passover, coming out of the Passover. Okay, but I'm jumping right down to verse 16 after he speaks about the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It says, and in the first day shall there be a holy convocation. And in the 7th day there should be a holy convocation. See? To you, no manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, and only may be done of you. Why? Because I don't want you to worry about no work. You just came out of slavery. You just came out of captivity. I want you to relax and have a good time.
That's it.
So these high holy days were holy gatherings. What else you got on that?
A ceremonial assembly of members.
Right, a ceremonial assembly of members. What else? And we're answering questions, y'all. If y'all get on and y'all shoot your questions in there, we're going to answer them. I'm answering the first question I had from a sister. They watch us. She's from Oklahoma, her and her husband. And they're asking about the high holy days. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. And once again, you know, like I told her, as you really, when you look at the Passover, us coming out of Egypt, then in the wilderness, we didn't eat unleavened bread. That's unleavened bread. Then coming after that, 50 days after that, will be the Feast of Weeks, right? The Pentecost, or the Feast of Weeks, the first fruits of our harvest. Okay? And that celebrated us, our harvest, right? Then after that, the Feast of Tabernacles, which was what? Another thing we did in
assembly.
In the assembly, but coming out of Egypt.
Right.
Like all these almost go back to Egypt.
It says a group of people gathered in answer to a summons, assembly.
Right, a summons assembly. So it was gathering, man. It was coming together and gathering. That's why we hit so hard on doing it with brothers and sisters, because the point of it was gathering.
Right.
You're supposed to get off from your homes and come together. You know what I mean? A lot of people do that. Well, I'm following it. The commandment was a holy gathering. A lot of people don't understand that. Okay? So that was Exodus. That was Exodus 12 verse 16. Let me see here what they got for us. Right, and I got the Hebrew word for, which is makorah, or quara is to like call. So calling. Something called out. That is public meeting, the act of the person or the place. Also a rehearsal. Check this out. Assembly. You see that? That's dope. That's dope.
Joshua.
The act, the act, the person or the place, public meeting, also a rehearsal. Because that's what we're doing. We're going back and rehearsing how we came out,
right,
how we took joy,
right,
and we participated in the High Holy Day. Okay? So you got Feast of Tabernacles, then you got Day of Atonement, which was the Day of Atonement was observed in the 10th month of Tishra. It was not a feast, it was a fast. It was a fast. All right, we're gonna get back to this new moon theme too. I'm just going over and showing that how all these high holy days, when you go into them, what they are about. Then you have the Feast of Tabernacles. We dwelt in tabernacles. The Feast of Tabernacles or booths this was the last of the scarce festivals under the Old Covenant. In pre-exile times, it began 5 days after the Day of Atonement. Okay. It commemorated the wandering in the wilderness during the festival. The people lived in booths, in tents in Jerusalem. So that's the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, so you see how 1, 2, 3, 4 high holy days was commemorating us coming out of Egypt.
4.
Okay, Day of Atonement, we know we fasted. Then Purim, which once again was another high holy day of us being delivered and the rededication of the temple, right? The feast the Feast of Purim was kept on the 14th and the 15th days of Adar, our March. That's where, see, you can't always go by their what they say their time is. Why? Because they're not going according to the new moon. Okay, and if they do, a lot of times, a lot of these so-called Jews got it wrong. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. The last month of the religious year is said to be instituted by Mordecai to commemorate the failure of Hanam's plot against the Jews. The word Purim means lots. Okay? And that's in the book of Esther. Okay. So once again, a high holy day commemorating our deliverance.
Exactly.
And that's what we're looking at a lot of these high holy days. Okay. Let me get the rest of them real quick. Let me get the rest of them really quickie. And then then you got Feast of... Oh, I skipped the Feast of Lights, right? Did I do that? Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped the Feast of Lights. I'm sorry. Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Pentecost, Feast of Tabernacles. Then you got Day of Atonement, Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Lights. I don't know why I skipped that. But anyway, Feast of Lights and then Feast of Purim. So the Feast of Lights was also a commemoration of us being getting our temple back during the time of the Maccabees. Okay? Was observed 8 days beginning on the 25th of Keslu. Okay? We just did this, right? It was instituted by Judas Maccabeus in 164 BC. So these are a list of our high holy days, okay, and how we observe them. All right. So go to Psalms 83 verse 1, 81 verse 3. And just to point out once again why the book of Enoch is wrong and why it's off. Read that.
Psalms chapter 81 and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Blow up the trumpet in the new moon.
Do what?
Blow up the trumpet in the new moon.
Right. So we celebrated the new moons. We celebrated our high holy days according to the moons. Okay? And it was just for a time. It was just for a time. Listen. Finish that and then we'll jump. Go ahead.
Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day.
Whoa. Right. Go ahead.
For this was a statute for Israel,
Right.
and a law of the Most High of Yahweh.
Right. Right. So we celebrated the new moons. That's why Paul had to come back and say, go to Colossians 2 verse 16. I'm going to just throw this in here real quick. Colossians 2, that was Psalms what, 81?
81 and verse 3.
Right. This is Colossians 2 verse 16.
Colossians chapter 2 and verse 16.
Colossians 2 verse 16. Read that.
Let no man therefore judge you in meat, or in drink, or in respect of a holy holiday,
Right.
or in the new moon.
Right. So why? Because Israel was so carnal minded, and we touched over this yesterday. Wednesday. Israel was so carnal minded, they would be doing all this wickedness, but then look at you because you got the new moon off. So the scriptures is showing you that we celebrated and we looked at the new moons to show forth our holidays, our times, and our seasons. We didn't worship the moon. We didn't worship the stars. We just used it for a clock. Remember that. We didn't worship the moon. We didn't worship the stars. Okay? There's another one I wanted to get. It was in go to 2 Chronicles 8 verse 13. There's one I wanted in Amos though. 2 Chronicles 8 and 13. Just to show you that when our high holy days were started, they would look at the new moons. And we have some brothers. I'm definitely, I know how it starts. We know that the new moon starts when you can't see no moon. Okay? That's when the new moon starts. But you have brothers that's been doing this for a long time, calculating the new moons and everything like that, and the Sabbaths off the Sabbath new moons. We have to get better at it, but we do have a brother that does it, and we go to him and okay, when is the Passover? And they set up the calendar, okay, and they send that calendar out, and we go off of that calendar, okay. All right, but these scriptures is just to show that we did do it. All right, go ahead, read that.
2 Chronicles chapter 8 and verse 13. Even after a certain rate every day, offering according to the commandments of Moses.
Right.
On the Sabbaths and on the new moons.
On the what?
New moons.
On the Sabbaths and on the new moons. Go ahead.
And on the solemn feasts.
Right.
3 times in a year. Even the feast of unleavened bread.
Right. So once again, just establishing that the new moon, we did go off of it. All right. So the sister's question is basically, about the high holy day. Her question was about the different high holy days. How do you celebrate them? And what did they, what they commemorated?
And we just gave a basics of that, because every year, every time we go over, whether it's Passover, you can read about the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You can read about the first fruits. You can read about these things, and we read about them. I don't want to take up the whole class because that'll take up the whole time going over every specific one. But the gist of it is this. A majority of them is from the Passover, right? Then you got the Day of Atonement. Then you got Purim, and you got Purim and the Feast of Lights, which were outside of the Old Testament that were commemorated. Now, another point. This is why Christ said, I came not to do away with the law or the prophets. Because there's high holy days, there's customs and laws that were set up outside of the commandments, right? Outside of the Old Testament law.
Like Purim.
Like Purim, through Mordecai. But Israel observed that and commemorated because it was righteous, because it was holy. These men were inspired by the Holy Spirit. The Most High moved with them.
Right. Feast of Lights.
Yeah, Feast of Lights, exactly. Let me see if this is the one. Okay. All right. That's fine on that. So I'm hoping and if the sister is listening, please go ahead and hit me up. And if there's any other question on that, you can ask that right now. Okay?
We have a new question.
Yeah.
Can you explain Ezekiel chapter 28, 13 through 19?
Ezekiel 28.
Yeah.
Word 13 to 19.
Done.
Ezekiel 28, 13 to 19. Did y'all send that? The camp? There you go. Ezekiel 28, 13 to 19. And we'll try to knock these questions out, and hopefully we can get into the Zechariah, the 5th chapter, today also. Last class, it was all questions. Go ahead.
All right, Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 13. Thou hast been in Eden, in the garden of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Every precious stone was thy covering. The sardius, topaz, and the diamond, and the beryl, and the onyx, and the jasper, and the sapphire,
Mm-hmm.
and the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold, the workmanship of thy tabrets, and of thy pipes.
Right. Well, okay. So let's go to, because this is going to establish and answer your question. You're going to go to the Apocrypha, go to your Apocrypha. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 2 verse 24.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 24.
Wisdom of Solomon 2 verse 24. And this is to answer the question in Ezekiel 28 verse 13. Go ahead and read that.
Nevertheless, through envy of the devil.
Nevertheless, through what?
Through envy of the devil.
Through envy of the devil. You know what? Let's read up. 22.
Verse 22. As for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not.
Go ahead.
Neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness.
Go ahead.
Nor discerned a reward for blameless souls.
Mm-hmm.
For the Most High created man to be immortal.
Right, so this is what happened. What happened was the Most High originally created man to be immortal. So this is where when you go to Genesis, this Ezekiel 28 is giving us an understanding, and with wisdom of Solomon is giving us an understanding why the devil did what he did. Okay? So, I think this is where Christianity got it mixed up, though. They say they're getting wisdom of Solomon and Isaiah 14 intermingled, and they're mixing that up. They're saying, say Lucifer was cast out. First of all, Isaiah 14 doesn't got nothing to do with this. Okay? Lucifer in Isaiah 14 is talking about a kingdom. It's talking about the light bearer in wisdom. So how do we know that? Because when you go to Job, Satan is not cast out. When the sons of men came to the Most High, sons of God came to Job, it said Satan himself came amongst them, reporting to the Most High. So Christianity got it wrong again. Satan wasn't cast out, and he's running rampant, running wild like an animal, doing his own thing. No.
He plotted against the Most High.
Yeah, he plotted against the Most High. That's not what happened.
I said, I've always posed that question. I said, when I take people to show them that chapter, chapter 2 of Job, I pose that question. If you're mortal enemies with somebody, why do you have to get permission to do something despite them? Every time he touched Job, he asked the Most High for permission. If you're mortal enemies, you don't ask your enemy for permission to do anything. You do it, right? So that's already showing that the church has mixed it up.
Right. So yeah, that's and once again, if you don't understand, we can reiterate it again. But Isaiah 14 don't got nothing to do with here, so don't misconstrue that. Ezekiel 28 is we're gonna find out where this comes from. Go to so we'll finish reading Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 23. For the Most High created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity.
Yeah, so the Most High originally created man to be immortal. So what happened? Go ahead.
Nevertheless, through envy of the devil.
So the Bible is telling us something here. We were originally created immortal, but the envy of the devil came in. So this is where you have this high being, right, envious. Now you would ask, well, why? Well, why was he envious? Go to Job 4 verse 18. Why was he envious? Job 4 verse 18.
Job chapter 4 and verse 18.
Yeah.
Behold, he put on trust.
No, read it again.
Oh, slide. Job chapter 4 and verse 18.
Uh-huh.
Behold, he put no trust in his servants.
Uh-huh.
And his angels he charged with folly.
And his angels he charged with folly. So the Most High looks at all his beings. He charges his angels with folly, right? And these are supposed to be high beings. It's showing you that at some point the Most High is still looking at these angelic beings as children. You see that? So why did Satan envy? Well, because he was foolish. And that's where we go back to Ezekiel the 28th chapter. Go back to Ezekiel 28 verse 13, and it's going to tell us, it's going to explain what happened with this entity, this being. Go ahead.
Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of the Most High.
Well, how do we know that this is not talking about, because when you read this chapter, he's using the symbolism and talking about this high being, but he's also talking about the Prince of Tyrus. But look what he's doing. He's using a parable form to relate what Satan was doing, and he was related to the Prince of Tyrus. Okay, go ahead.
Thou hast been in the garden in Eden, the garden of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Every precious stone.
Well, we know that the Prince of Tyrus wasn't in the Garden of Eden. So let's get that right. This is talking about an angelic being, right? That we found out through Wisdom of Solomon. What he did, he envied. Why? It's going to give us details why he envied. We know that the Most High says these angels sometimes can be foolish. Go ahead.
Every precious stone
Uh-huh.
was thy covering.
Read.
The sardius,
Uh-huh.
topaz,
Right.
and the diamond.
Right. So all these precious things was his covering, and I'm not going to go into all that point. But read on.
The beryl, the onyx, the jasper,
Right.
the sapphire,
Right.
the emerald,
Right.
the carbuncle,
Mm-hmm.
and the gold. The workmanship of thy tablets
Mm-hmm.
and of thy pipes was prepared in thee the day that thou was created.
Right. So the Most High is showing you that when you look at all these different stones and everything, he's saying those are majestic. Okay, the power in that, and it goes deeper, but I'm just gonna leave it with the basics. That it was majestic. Okay. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Thou art the anointed cherub.
Right, so once again, how do we know this is not talking about the Prince of Tyrus? He's telling you he's the anointed cherub. The anointed cherub, meaning that he was, at that time, he was a angel. Okay? That's what a cherub is. Go ahead.
That covereth.
Now go ahead.
And I have set thee so.
Right, because the Most High said him so. Go ahead.
Thou was upon the holy mountain.
Uh-huh. That was upon the holy mountain. The holy mountain he's talking about in this realm, the spiritual realm. Go ahead.
Of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Thou hast walked up and down.
Thou has what?
Walked up and down.
Thou has what?
Walked up and down.
Well, that's what the angels do. They come up and down. That's why when you go back to Job, you stay where you're at. I'll get it.
Right.
When you go to Job, the first chapter, it says here, and the Lord said, now there was a day, verse 6, 1 and 6, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto him, Satan, whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Okay, go ahead. Jump back to Ezekiel 28.
Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
Uh-huh.
Verse 15. Thou wast perfect in thy ways.
Right.
From the day that thou wast created.
Right. So the Most High created him perfect. Go ahead.
Till iniquity was found in thee.
Right.
By the multitude of thy merchandise.
Right.
They have filled in the midst of thee.
Right. So listen, at some point, we're gonna find out that Satan got too prideful. Now we understand why he says he charges them with folly. He puts his no trust in them because he charged them with folly. Okay? Because compared to his level, they are still on a baby stage compared to the Most High. Go ahead.
The midst of thee with violence.
Uh-huh.
And thou hast sinned.
Thou hast what?
Thou hast sinned.
Go ahead.
Therefore I will cast thee as profane
Uh-huh.
out of the mountain of the Most High.
Go ahead.
And I will destroy thee.
Right. So when it says he will cast thee, meaning that he took him down from this level. How do we know that? Because when we read here in Job again, it says, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like unto him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feared the Most High and escheweth evil. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, doeth Job fear the Most High for naught? Has not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and his substance and increase in the land. But put forth thine hand now. Verse 11 is very important. Put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy faith. So Satan knew that he could not do anything without the Most High's okay. So that's what we have to understand. So iniquity was found in this being, and the Most High put him took him out of his glory. He took that power from him, whatever power he had. Remember, if we start going and speculating outside of what we're reading, then that's what it is. It's speculation. But we know, according to the scriptures, the Most High took him out of that power. Go ahead.
I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of the Most High, and I will destroy thee.
Right.
O covering cherub.
Because, listen, really, what's going to happen to him? He hasn't been, but he's going to be. He hasn't been destroyed, but he's going to be. Okay, go ahead.
O covering cherub. From the midst of the stones of fire.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 17. Thy heart was lifted up because of thy beauty.
Right, so now it's telling us what happened. He got prideful. Go ahead.
Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom.
So why did he envy? Why did Satan envy? Why through his envy we fell? Because he came about and did what? Through his pride, he deceived Adam and Eve.
Corrupted thy wisdom.
Right. He was corrupt with the wisdom that he had, and he went and deceived Adam and Eve.
Oh. So
that's why the Most High, when you go back to Genesis 3, now we're getting a little more understanding why the Most High said, okay, Satan, you're going to fall. The serpent, you're going to fall, right? You're going to come down on your belly. It didn't mean that he was going to turn into a snake. It meant that he was going to come down to a lower state. Okay? So, you got to get rid of the misconceptions that Satan was a snake. The devil was a snake. He wasn't a snake. He was a slick, sly, crafty, cunning being. And through the envy of the devil, through his pride corrupting wisdom, he went and he tempted Eve, which in return Adam took part, and they both fell. And that's why when you go back to Wisdom of Solomon, it says we were supposed to live immortal, but Satan came in through what? His pride, through his corruption of the wisdom. Go ahead.
By reason of thy brightness.
Go ahead.
I will cast thee to the ground.
Right.
I will lay thee before kings.
Right.
That they.
Right. Now, this is synonymous. I guess the word synonymous, both Tyrus and Satan. Because remember, this is a prophecy to Tyrus. But he's using what symbolism happened to this angelic being. The same thing. And when you look at pride, this is where pride is the beginning when one departs from the Most High. So, all these nations, it's the same thing, whether it's the so-called white man, America, whether it was Egypt, Pharaoh, their pride lifted them up. Whether it was this being lifted up in his pride to depart from the will of the Most High. So, but we're getting a little more clarity now why Satan crept in and deceived Adam and Eve. Because he got lifted up in his pride, in his ego, and he went and deceived Adam and Eve. So the Most High said, I'm going to bring you down. Go ahead. What verse are we at?
Last precept.
Go ahead.
I will lay thee before kings, and that they may behold thee.
Right.
Verse 18. Thou hast defiled the sanctuaries by the multitude of thy iniquities.
Yeah, because now, once again, going to the prophecy of what's going on with Tyrus and what the wicked does. The wicked do the same thing. Remember, you have to be influenced by the spiritual demon Satan to do these things, to do wickedness. So it's one and the same. Whether it's man performing the works of Satan, you're going off the influence of that left-hand side. But still, this is Satan's work. That's why it tells you to go to I'm touching on it, but I'm not trying to go. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. And when I mean simple as possible, that understanding that what can be shown in scriptures without speculation. Because Israel, you can go into the quasars with this, but how do we just keep it basic? Go to You know what? Go to Job 9:24. We'll touch on that one real quick.
Job chapter 9, verse 24.
Right.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Right.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
Well, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right? So hold that. Because this earth is not righteous. Whose hand is it in?
The wicked.
It's in the hand of the wicked. The Most High is like, okay, I'm going to show you what wickedness does. You have your reign. But out of your reign, I'm going to select my chosen. And they're not going to bow. They're not going to submit. They're not going to do what this world is about. So I created you lights. I made you lights in the midst of this world. You're in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right?
Come.
Go to, where is it? Let me get it here. Where is it, guys? 2 Corinthians 4, verse 4. Go to 2 Corinthians 4, verse 4. 4, verse 3.
2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3.
Right, because who's ruling? If the earth is given in the hand of the wicked, who's ruling? Satan. This is his kingdom. You understand? Or I would rather say, it's his time. Right? Go ahead.
2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3.
Right?
But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
Right.
Verse 4. In whom the God of this world.
The what?
The God of this world.
The what?
The God of this world.
Right. Whose world is this? It's Satan.
Satan, the wicked.
God just means power. The power of this world, go ahead,
Hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them.
Right, so it's Satan's time. This is Satan's time. It's his time to have free reign. Right? But that don't mean nothing, because you know why? He still can't touch the righteous. He still can't, the righteous are not going to be influenced by him, right? Go back to Matthew 4, verse 8. So just showing you that the Most High is giving Satan his time, his little time to reign on the earth, his little time to do his wickedness and to, I guess, establish his power that's going to come out, that's going to be destroyed anyway, right?
You're like setting yourself up.
Yeah.
You know you're going to fail.
Yeah. He has his time. He has his reign. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
That reminds me of a lot of people that when they find out like they're dying, they live like this carefree lifestyle.
That's why, you know what, let me say this. That's why wickedness, the spiritual being that's functioning wicked, and the wicked man, it's one and the same. If the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, who's behind him whispering in his ear? Satan. Right? So he's doing his thing and ruling the people, ruling the minds, darkening the minds. Most High said that you're in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation. So Satan's doing his work. Right? But his time is almost up. We know that, right?
Right.
Go ahead, read that. Matthew 4, verse 8 and 9.
Matthew chapter 4, verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them. Verse 9. And said unto him, all these things I will give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
Right. You see that? Why? How could he give anybody anything? Why? How could he give anybody? How could Satan give anybody anything?
Because it's his.
Because the Most High said, "Listen, go ahead, you got it. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see what you're gonna do with it." But because Satan's whole job is to do what? To come to kill, to kill and destroy.
Right.
Kill, steal, destroy.
Kill, steal, destroy. So his job is to destroy the minds of the righteous, right? With the falseness, the falsehood. So I'm gonna give you all this. What? You're gonna be a rapper. You're gonna be a movie star. Who can only do that? Who could? It said the wicked prosper in this world. Why? Because Satan is running. Satan is running things.
We just had this. Me and Volante.
Oh, really?
We just had this conversation today. We was on the phone for like 40 minutes talking
Right.
about that.
Right. So go to 1 John 5 verse 19. So Satan hasn't been trodden down. Go ahead, read that. 1 John 5 verse 19.
1 John chapter 5 verse 19.
Go ahead.
And we know that we are of God, and the whole world lies in wickedness.
Yeah, the whole world lieth in wickedness. Why? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Why? Because Satan is his time to rule. He's ruling now. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 20.
That's it on that. Go to Ephesians 2 verse 2. Ephesians 2 verse 2. You know which one I'm talking about, right? It says
Ephesians chapter 2 verse 2.
Ephesians 2 verse 2. Read that.
Wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air,
Right.
the spirit that worketh in the children of disobedience.
So, now we get it, right? Y'all understanding that, right? That Satan is behind the scenes. This is his time to reign. This is his time to rule. So he hasn't been put down. He hasn't been taken out of power as of yet. But we know that by him, through his envy, man has failed, right? Through his corrupting of wisdom, man has failed. So we sinned, right? The Most High is showing us through this process what sin is. Because you would ask, well, why? Why did the Most High do this if he created him perfect? Because he's showing man what is life and what is death, right? Remember everything he told us in the law. I've set before you life and death, that which thou wilt give yourself to it, right? So if you wanted the big why, the big why is because the Most High is going to show humanity what wickedness does. So he let Satan have his free reign. But Satan's going to come down. Satan's going to be destroyed in the end. Y'all get that? Go to where is it? It's no, it's Revelations. Go to Revelations. Go to Revelations 12. I think it is. Oh man. Go to Revelations 12 verse 1. Yeah. Right. Hold on. Go to Revelation 12 and 1. Read it.
Revelation chapter 12 verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, and a woman clothed with the sun.
Right. So now this is going to give us a little more understanding about Satan's rule, Satan's power here on earth. So I'm hoping I kind of went a little more in this, but just to answer your question, in Ezekiel the 28, that's talking about that spiritual demon Satan, and the Most High showing us that through his power, his ego got to him. And that's why the Most High is going to bring him down and destroy him. Okay? Which is the outcome. But right now, he has his free time to reign. He has his free time to rule. Okay? Go ahead. Where you at?
Second precept.
Go ahead.
And the moon under her feet.
Right. So there appeared another great wonder in heaven. So this is talking about a rulership that was. This is talking about John the Revelator. He was going to show us a vision of something that was going to go on. Go ahead.
And upon her
It
head.
says, and a woman, the woman represents the children of Israel. And if we haven't went over this chapter, we'll go over it with precepts proving, what applies to what, and showing you that the woman is Israel, and the son. It says, and the man cloth with the sun. A woman cloth with the sun. The sun represents wisdom in the scriptures. I'm not going to go over the whole breakdown. I'm just trying to get to the point in here. Okay, go ahead. And the moon.
And the moon under her feet.
The moon represents understanding. Because our wisdom, we have to have wisdom. The wisdom of the Most High. And our foundation has to be the understanding. So the moon represents our understanding. That has to be our foundation. Go ahead.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Mm-hmm.
2. And she be.
Right, because the crown, because rulership is going to be given to the children of Israel. 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered.
Right. It says, and she being with child cried. Now, this is a twofold meaning. This is going to be talking about Mary coming out of Egypt, Christ being born, and it's going to be talking about Israel being born as a nation. Go ahead.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
All right.
And behold, a great red dragon.
Right. So, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Because what is it going to take for us to be brought forth as a nation? What is it going to take? It's going to take pain. It says, through much tribulation ye shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. So the Israelites, to be brought forth as a nation, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. Remember, we talked about this the other day. It said the land shall be barren of faith. Okay, go ahead.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
Uh-huh.
And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right. So this is the part I wanted to get to just on this point, as we actually it's going to go down to verse 9. But this is symbolic in 2 ways. It's speaking of the kingdom that's ruling now, but it's also speaking of the spiritual demon Satan. It's speaking of both. Why? Because the power that's given to these demons that's ruling is from their demon father. That's why you can only do demonic things. You can only kill masses of people being influenced by Satan. So there appeared another wonder in heaven. He's seen another great thing that happened in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon. Well, that red dragon is symbolic. A dragon is a serpent. It's a big serpent. So we're talking about a nation, but we're going to find out as we read down, we're also talking about the spiritual demon Satan. Go ahead.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right, and these 7 heads represent the 7 ruling empires that rule with this demon. They rule with the demon, the great dragon. Okay? And when you go back to Daniel's, it was the same thing. There's 7 powers that rule with this demon. And when you look at America
and all the corporates with them, the European community, right? And you look at how they came to be a power, it's all the nations have part in this. Every nation has a part in this, right? So the 7 heads represent the 7 ruling empires that the dragon came about to be, which was I'm not gonna go into all that. I don't want to go into all that yet. I'm trying to give it to y'all, but I'm trying to give it to y'all as basic. But you do have to break it down. But go ahead.
And 10 horns.
Right, the 10 horns represent the 10 ruling powers that support the beast. And when you go to Revelations 18, it tells you that all nations support the beast. And I think we touched on a little bit of this with Tahawam. But I'm trying to get to the point. Go ahead.
Having 7 crowns upon his head.
Go ahead.
4. And his tail threw a third part of the stars of heaven.
Right, and his tail drew the third parts of the stars of heaven. Well, the latter end of the tail, we find out, is talking about this kingdom now. They drew the third parts of the stars of heaven, which were Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So, when did the third part of the stars of heaven get drawn, get destroyed? Anybody? Did he go over this with them?
The Revelation part?
Yeah. It's talking about in 70 AD when Israel was overthrown by the Roman Empire. Okay? So they were destroyed. The Judah, Benjamin, and Levi were destroyed. Right? Because the stars of heaven represent Israel. The third part represent the third of them, which were Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, that was in Jerusalem at that time. Go ahead.
And did cast them to the earth.
And we were trodden down. Go ahead.
And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered.
Right. The dragon, remember, is this kingdom. Right? But it's also symbolic of the people. Whether it's the Greeks, whether it's the Romans, whether it's America, they're all the same people. Okay? When you look at Herod, what did he do? What did he try to do with Christ? He tried to kill Christ, right? He stood before the woman to kill Christ. What is they're doing before us as a nation? They're trying to destroy us as a nation. Go ahead.
For to devour her child.
Right, the child being Christ, but also the Israelites. Go ahead.
As soon as it was born.
Go ahead.
5. She brought forth a man-child.
Uh-huh.
Who was to rule all the nations with a rod of iron.
So you see that? You see that? That's talking about Christ, but also who's going to rule? Israel. You see? Like I said, I'm really reluctant in going over this, but to finish up this brother's question or sister's question, it's going to make sense as we read down. Okay? And it's just showing you how, from Revelations 12 verse 1, how we're being brought forth as a nation, and how Satan is always trying to destroy us, trying to destroy the Son, which is Yahushua. Okay, that's all it's talking about. Go ahead.
And her child was caught up unto God.
Right. We know the only one that was caught up to the Most High was Christ. Go ahead.
And to his throne.
Uh-huh.
And the woman fled unto the wilderness.
Right. So, 2 things. You got the woman ran from Pharaoh, so Christ wouldn't be destroyed, right? And then you got Israelites coming into the wilderness and running from destruction from this kingdom. Go ahead.
Where she hath a place prepared of God.
Right. That place prepared is America. Go ahead.
That they should feed her there 1,260 days.
Right. So Israel had to run from the persecution of a destruction from these other nations, and they left and they went into another far land, right? Which was Ashereth. Y'all remember that, right? The 9.5 tribes, right? Okay. And we were there 1,260 days represented the 3.5 years was symbolic of the 350 years. Okay, like I said, we'll go over all that. Go ahead.
And there was war in heaven.
Right. Now, this is the point I wanted to get to. There was what?
There was war in heaven.
Future prophecy. This is a future prophecy because this didn't happen. This is where they got it wrong. We're finding out that Satan, he has his free reign to rule. According to Job, he was going in and out the earth. We know the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. We know the God of this world has blinded the minds of the people. So he is still there. He's not cast unto the earth, and now he's well, I don't know what they say. He's cast down in what? Where is he at?
He's a fallen angel.
He's a fallen angel. No, that's not what it's saying. This is a future prophecy.
They started it off with like he rebelled against God.
Right.
He plotted. Him and 3/4 of the angels plotted against the Most High to overthrow him.
Right. See, that's why you have to understand. You have to understand it from Genesis. You have to understand that Revelations is talking about historically, and it's talking about also future prophecy. It's talking about the physical, and y'all looking at me like, huh? What the? It's talking about the future prophecy that's going to happen to the wicked nation and the spiritual demon Satan. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Now y'all see why we don't go over a lot of this, because you got to understand the scriptures. You got to understand, but if you go back to that 2 Corinthians 4:4, the Matthew 4:8, the 1 John 5:19, the Ephesians 2:2, the Job 9:24, you're understanding that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right? But behind the scene, the spiritual demon Satan is constantly moving. He's feeding and destroying the minds of these people. If you just understand it from that point, you understand that there's two things happening here. There's a thing happening in the physical realm and a thing happening in the spiritual realm.
And the spiritual realm influences the
There you go. The spiritual realm, demon Satan, he has his time to rule. I'm going to give you everything you have. Well, what do I got to do? You got to bow to me. Well, Satan's not here. He doesn't appear in front of these rappers, right? And say, listen, I'll give you everything. No, they do the deeds and the customs of the wicked. Okay, so if you understand it from that standpoint, this will be more, you have more understanding. Okay? And there was a war in heaven, which is in the future. This war is going to happen. Go ahead.
Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
Right, but you're going to have this physical war, and you're going to have this spiritual war too going on. So Satan is going to be destroyed in the future. Okay? Christ and his angels are going to fight, but who are they going to be fighting against also?
The wicked of this world.
The wicked of this world.
The flesh.
The flesh, right. So it's a twofold meaning. Go ahead.
And the dragon fought and his angels.
Go ahead.
And prevailed not.
Right, so they lose. Go ahead.
Neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Right, so you see how a nation, and the Bible does this a lot. If you go back to that Ezekiel 28, it's symbolically speaking of this angelic being, but also pointing out to the carnal aspect, who's the demon at that time, which was the prince of Tyrus. So you got the physical is a revealing of the spiritual, what's spiritually going on behind the scenes. So I'm hoping it's not losing y'all. It's like blowing your brains out too much here. But it's really basic if you understand how the Bible, it symbolically speaks of, these things happening in the spiritual realm and, being transformed in the physical realm through demonic people, evil people. When you hear a voice and the voice says, go kill your family, that's happening in the spiritual realm. That's coming from thoughts. That's coming from your thoughts. But who put that thought in your head? The spiritual demon Satan. So it's not too far-fetched if you understand that. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And the great dragon was cast out.
Right.
That old serpent.
But now we know this is future. What they got mixed up, they were thinking, that's happened.
This was before Genesis.
No, he said Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not, neither was there a place found any more in heaven. Well, we know according to Job, he's still there. We know that according to what all the prophets were saying about what we just read in 2 Corinthians 4:4, Job 9:24, right? 1 John 5:19, Ephesians 2:2, that we're in the midst of wickedness. Y'all see that?
God.
So this hasn't happened yet. Go ahead.
And the great dragon was cast out.
Go ahead.
That old serpent called the devil.
Right. So his future destruction is coming. His kingdom on earth is going to fall. His spiritual kingdom is going to fall. Go ahead.
And Satan,
Go ahead.
which deceiveth the whole world.
Right. Go ahead.
He was cast into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him.
Right. So he's gonna. Earth means a lower state. Now, where's that last scripture?
That was
Because I know this is probably like a lot.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 26.
1 Corinthians 15:26. So the reason why I went into it like that is to show a lot of people when they read Ezekiel 28, they say, well, why? Why did the Most High do this or use this being? Well, the scripture starts to tell you, it starts to make, the story starts to come together when you understand through the envy of the devil, Satan came in and corrupted wisdom and knowledge, and therefore man fell. So the Most High is like, okay, because you did that, I'm going to bring you down, but I'm going to let you have this free reign. And in this free reign, the Most High is saying, which one of your demons with you are going to just be destroyed with you? And we find out that 2/3 of Israel is going to die. We find out that many of the nations is going to die. Why? Because a lot of people are bowing to Satan, the spiritual demon Satan. They want wickedness. They love wickedness. They love death. So the Most High is going to destroy them. Okay, so read that. 1 Corinthians 15:26.
You want to start at 25?
25, go ahead.
First Corinthians chapter 15
25.
and verse 25.
Uh-huh.
For he must reign till he hath put
Read 23.
23.
Uh-huh.
But every man in his own order, Christ the first fruit, afterwards they that are Christ at his coming.
Right. But every man in his own order, Christ being the first fruits, afterward that are Christ at his coming. So you got Christ, he's the first fruit, right? Then you got everybody that's stuck to the law, statutes, commandments. When he comes, it's going to be revealed. These are the righteous. Go ahead. You guys can turn off the fans. It won't be so cold in here. Go ahead.
Then cometh the end.
Right.
When he shall have delivered up the kingdom of God,
Right.
even the Father.
Right. So we know how this kingdom is coming. How is this kingdom coming? Satan has to fall. There has to be a war. Not only the spiritual demon, but the physical demon. Right? America has to fall. Right? Go ahead.
When he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power.
Read.
For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet.
Right.
The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death.
Right. Because who brought death?
Satan.
Satan brought death. You understand that? He's got to be the last one taken down. He has to be brought down. So you got a spiritual demon, Satan's going to be brought down. With their kingdom, they're going to be destroyed. So I hope I didn't go too, like I said, too much into the quasars. But hit us back if you'll understand that with the Ezekiel 28. If you don't, hit me back. Revelations 12, we go over that with scriptures in detail. But I'm not doing that now because I want to get other questions and I want to go ahead and get some of what the Zechariah 5 out of the way. So I'm hoping I'm hoping that it get too deep. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not that deep if you understand the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Satan's behind the scenes. All right. I mean, what y'all lost? How lost are y'all on this one? No, y'all understanding? Okay. All right. I just seen the faces was like I don't know if I confused y'all.
No, you made it real basic.
I made it real basic. All right. Good. All right. So what else we got online?
What is the Kabbalah?
I haven't touched the Kabbalah. I haven't read the Kabbalah, but I think the Kabbalah is supposed to be spiritual mysticism created by the Jews, and that's from what I know about the Kabbalah. That's about it. But I haven't really took time to waste my time to go into the Kabbalah. You know what I mean? It's not in the scriptures, but I think if you look up the basics of the Kabbalah, if you would like to just do a definition search, it's the it's rabbis that came up with this spiritualism about in the law. So everything is supposed to have like a spiritualism behind it, and they came up with the meaning of that. But I would have to really do a lot more research on the Kabbalah. You know, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I always tell y'all this. I stick to the scriptures. I'm not going into all these other books and reading and trying to get into them. Now, I'm not saying it's not good for information purposes or to destroy a lot of the stuff that's in there. But with me, a lot of times when I came in, the brothers told me, study the Bible. And that's what I did. I didn't get into a lot of history yet. I didn't get into a lot of other books. I wanted to make sure I understood the scriptures. That way, when I did get into these books, I'm not trying to engraft other books into the Bible. You see that? And that's what we have in this generation. They're reading everything else, then reading the Bible. Then when they read the Bible, they're like, wait a minute. Their misconception of what they're told in these other books, they're applying it to the Bible. So my thing is be careful when you start getting into all these other things. Because they will dilute and they will transform your mind of what the Bible is saying. Okay?
Says, Shalom, what exactly is eternal or everlasting life? Is there death in the kingdom?
Well, like we just read. And you know, I was talking about this with High Priest Yeshaya. And one thing he made clear to me, as we look at status in the kingdom, everybody's not going to be according to the Bible. But he was reiterating to me that if you look at Revelation 7, 144,000 was the higher status. Everybody's not 144,000, but 1/3 of Israel was going to be saved. So you got different status in there. Then you have the 12 apostles. It said that they shall sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Their status is above all, right? So you got God, Christ, Michael the archangels, right? And then his armies, their armies, right? But then you got Christ. He said, listen, you're going to sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So there's status in the kingdom. And everybody is not going to get the status of living forever. Everybody's not going to get that status. But, and you know what? Let me do this, because that's a good question. I want to put together those scriptures for you, showing you that, because the scriptures tell you, man, that everybody's not going to have everlasting life. But once again, living 1,000 years is a long time, right? So, and that's what the Bible tells you. But remember, we were created to be immortal.
righteousness is immortal. So let me put something together for you on that, and then because that'll be a good topic to go over extensively instead of just shooting a few scriptures off to you and then that's it.
Do any modern day Native Americans have an oral tradition saying they go? Do any modern day Native Americans have an oral tradition saying they go back to Israel, or is it based off of historical record and prophecies like the Negro?
Yeah, they just found in well, let me say this. Oral tradition, we have historical records that talk about that oral tradition. But a lot today, we know a lot of brothers and sisters from New Mexico. And the one sister that was watching class at the time, Karatazaya, she was telling me about their feast days and how their feast days are basically right around the high holy days. So, but remember, it's just like the so-called Negroes. You weren't thinking about celebrating no Passover until you were shown that you were the true Jews. So it's the same thing. And, a lot of traditions they still do. They wear the fringes, but they're not going to say, oh yeah, those are the laws in the Bible. That's what that represents, because they've been veered. They veered from the laws and commandments of the Most High. So they still follow traditions, but after a long time, those traditions became their own customs as opposed to we're serving the will of the Most High. So the question once again is, read it again.
It says, do any modern day Native Americans have an oral traditions saying they go back to Israel?
Right. So I guess you're asking, like, is there anybody you can go to right now and say, hey, do you know you're an Israelite? No. Or do you know where these traditions come from? Oh yeah, this comes back for us being Israelites. I don't think, just the Gadites we talk to, they're not going to say, oh yeah, it goes back to Israel. Why? Because unless they know the truth. That's not far-fetched, right? Because what black man, what Native American, Puerto Rican man you can go to and say, you know what? Did you know you was Israelite? A lot of them would say no. Now, some will come back and say, you know what? I knew this. My father, they told me this. They told me why we did this. But as in, as in a whole, a lump for them to come back and be like, oh yeah, we're Israelites. A lot of them don't know that. They don't know that until you start going into the scriptures. You start bringing out the evidence, the facts, just like the so-called Negroes. You had to go to Deuteronomy 28:68 for them to know, wait a minute. I was the one brought over on cargo slave ships. Right?
Right.
And then you go to the scripture to say, oh, okay, the Jews were brought over on cargo slave ships, right? So it's the same thing across the board when you go to the Native Americans, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incans, the Navajos, the Apaches. They don't know right out. But like when you go into the book, The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, I think I got it over there, right? When you go into the Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, they were praying to the Most High. I guess that was the 1600s or the 1700s. I got to double check on that, but they were praying to the Most High in Hebrew. So that's why we have these books, the Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, the Island I forgot the name of the other book.
It should be in there. Yeah, you got to lay it down and open it up. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But that's why you got to have the information and the history that goes with it. This is where it says in Revelations, the earth helped the woman. Because the earth is that archaeology, that anthropology, the history that has been hidden. And now you can go to the old history when the white man got over here and they were saying, wait a minute, And these cats are speaking Hebrew. They're following the Feast of Unleavened Bread. They're following the High Holy Days. So that's why we have the evidence of historical evidence also. Okay? Alright. Yeah, so you got this book, Lost Tribes of Promised Land. There's a white one in there too.
Black Indians?
No, not the Black Indians, the other one.
Oh, yeah.
What is it called?
It's called American Indians.
Yeah, America. The History of the American Indians by James Adair. This is a good one too. But let's see here. Right. This is like, and this is on page 78. And this is just one insert here. This is on page 78. It says, by a strict, permanent, divine precept, the Hebrew nations were ordained to worship at Jerusalem Yahweh. Of course, they got Jehovah. It says, the true and living God, and who by the Indians is still Yehovah. So they spelled it wrong, but it's Yahweh. So, this is their accounts when they came over here. And when they seen and interacting with the Native Americans, they seen them speaking Hebrew. So, if you're looking for today, you ain't gonna get that. You gotta go to the history. The ceremonies of the Indians and their religious worships are more after the Mosaic institution than a pagan imitation. Excuse me. So, and it goes down. I gotta go through this book again myself too. A lot of times I just skimmed over it. But this is a good book to get. The History of American Indians by James Adair. You can get it on Amazon. And then you got this one right here, which is this is a killer right here, man. This one, The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. I thought I had it noted in here. Yeah, page, let me see. Yeah, see right here, this is on page 187 in this book, The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. It says here, but even if we set the question of his origins aside, Duran's work suggests that he viewed the Indian dynasty from a perspective influenced by the new Christian experience of his time. Whether he was conscious of it this or not, for with increasing frequency and conviction, Duran came to see elements of Judaic character in old Aztec religion. At first, this tendency appears only as a fervent search for Jewish analogies provoked by Aztec customs, such as the eating of only unleavened bread on certain days of the year, the prohibiting of drinking liquids after the eating of certain rutile foods, and the use of baths for purification, which we baptized. It says, in time, this began to seem to Duran like overwhelming evidence that the Indians indeed descended from the lost tribes of Israel, and he opens his last and most important work, The History of the Indies of New Spain. So that's another book. The histories of the Indies of New Spain. So and it goes on. There's more in here that tell you that once again, when they went over there, they started to look at these people and were like, wait a minute. Is this a Christian thing? But they started to realize that No, these cats were following the laws of the Most High. Following the commandments and high holy days. So, hopefully that answered your question, bro. All right, so what's the next one?
Says, are there other humans from different planets?
Are there other humans from different planets? We don't know, bro. We don't know. There are, there's many mansions in the Lord's house, but we don't know because the Most High has only gave us right here in this time. You gotta ask yourself this: if they are, you think the Most High is gonna let us know now in this wicked kingdom? You might as well stop looking, because the secrets are revealed to the servants, the prophets.
Ugh.
It ain't gonna be revealed. A lot of these secrets and things that are hidden are not gonna be revealed, brother, to your mind. Our mind can comprehend. Just looking at time itself, and how it says 1 day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is 1 day, right? The Most High doesn't dwell on our plane. So for us to comprehend the things that are beyond us, you can kind of tell from studying the basics of science and studying how the Most High is beyond our time and He doesn't live by our rules, that we're not going to be able to comprehend those things anyway. So, or what can be, or what is. So that's why the scripture says, my thoughts are beyond my thoughts are beyond your thoughts, and my ways are beyond your ways. You got to kind of go back to where the angel put Ezra in perspective and was like, listen, could you weigh a flame? Could you count the numbers of the hairs of your head? Okay, so why are you asking these questions that you're not going to understand? So, and those are the things that obviously man wants to know. The white man especially wants to know and achieve and long life and all these things, right? But they're not going to be given to a wicked generation. The secret, think about it. If you could be immortal right now, that means homosexuals, transvestites would be immortal. Because you would be the last one to be immortal. So I'm just showing you a different perspective to look at these things when you think about them. Because we want to comprehend so much, but yet we don't even comprehend what's here amongst us. You know what I mean? I was reading something the other day. They were talking about they just found a new organ in the body.
Oh yeah.
You seen that?
Like really?
Yeah, I was like, are you serious? A new organ in the body?
This whole time?
Yeah. That's for you, brother. For you.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't read the article, but I'm thinking like, damn, this whole time a new organ. But think about it. Have you been in a body? When's the last time a black man cut open a body? Oh, the 0.5% of doctors are so-called Negroes. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that, we don't learn this growing up about our body, about our mind, about our anatomy. We don't learn that.
Listen, they can't even figure.
So they can lie to us.
They can't even figure out how what is it? A tide works in the depth of an ocean. They can't explain how how we have the tides up on the ocean up on land, right? But if you go down into the Pacific Ocean, near what they call the abyss, right? They have there's an island underwater. This is an island underwater, and it has its own tide.
Wow.
And they don't even understand how that works.
And those are things here in this life. So, I'm just trying to put your mind at ease that, there's things that right now we should be worried about, things that we need to have, we have power over, and we got to work on. Yeah.
Can I drop 2nd Ezra 4:21?
Go ahead.
2nd Ezra chapter 4 verse 21. For like as the ground is given unto the wood, and the seed to his buds, even so they that dwell upon the earth may understand nothing but that which is upon the earth.
Oh.
And he that dwelleth upon the heavens may only understand the things that are above the height of the heavens.
Wow. You just killed it, right? That's where's that?
2nd Ezra is 4:21.
Come.
Sorry, quick on the draw.
Con 421, right? That was a hard one. Right? That's hard. All right. Well, we got any other questions?
Gone. Would like to know what is that garment on the brother's head?
That's Osama bin Laden's headpiece. No. Put your head down. He got the head open, number one. You got to have your center open. So you're supposed to have your mid portion open so your head won't be covered when you pray or prophesy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a head cover, bro. There's nothing that serious. It's just
Really dope head covering.
it's really a that's all it is.
Shalom. According to Psalms 100, are we to sing and praise the Father before we pray?
Psalms 100.
Psalms 100.
Let's go there.
Psalms 100, verse 1.
Give me a comment when you get it.
Come.
Psalms 100. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is power. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture.
Okay. So what's the question?
Are we supposed to praise him before we pray? Sing and praise.
See, what we have to understand is this. I want you to look up song. Check this out. Look up song.
Psalm.
What you got?
A sacred song or hymn.
A what?
Sacred song or hymn.
Now, this is song. P-S-A-L-M. Song. Right? Because we go to Psalms, right? So read it again.
A sacred song or hymn. In particular, any of those contained in the biblical book of...
Now, a secret song.
Sacred.
A sacred song. S-O-N-G. So what are y'all learning from that?
You read the song.
It's the lyrics to a song?
That Psalms is a song.
Right.
See, everybody thinking, you thinking like when I pray to the Most High, I gotta sing. Oh, somewhere over there. Right? You're singing like Jesus is gonna know. Right? I don't know no song, so don't ask. That is the song. The song is Psalms 1 and 1. Blessed is the man. That's the song. It was a poetry. You understand? See, we thinking like, we're learning for Christianity, we're thinking we got to have the band, right? And you got to, you know what I mean? Y'all got to be jumping around. Not saying that David did that. David did that, right?
He
The
did.
apostles did that. You could sing and praise to the Most High. But we have to understand, the song was the Psalms. It wasn't the same, it wasn't like what we're thinking now, like, you know, you're thinking of an R&B song, right? They were really, these songs meant something. And they were praying to the Most High. They weren't just, I don't know, what's the word? They weren't just like an R&B song, you know, when you listen to it.
What they were saying had meaning.
What they were saying had meaning. So, yeah, you supposed to, when you sing to the Most High, this is singing to the Most High. When we say Abanawa, see, we say it like this, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, right? But you can say Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, it's like a hymn. But you're saying the same thing, our Father, which art in heaven, we got an Israelite tape, they sing the Our Father prayer. Abba Nawa, Shabbat Shemayim, right? They made it sound good, right? But it's you can sing it as a hymn, right? Or you can go and say the Psalms. So there's nothing, but don't think like, okay, what I'm praying is different from a psalm. It's the same thing. You're praying the Psalms, that's the psalm. Y'all see that? If you don't got a band, you're really not praying? No, that's not how it is. When you say the prayers, that's the song.
694.
What?
Or if you're not holding a note, a tune.
Yeah, you thinking like, if I'm a, oh Father, you know what I mean? I'm very bad at that, huh? Very, very bad. But you're like, unless you're doing that, then you're singing? No. I'm singing when I'm saying, Abba Nawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwavka. That's when the Native Americans, Haya, they used to clown them, Haya, they weren't just saying, hey, ho. They weren't saying that. They were saying hymns. They were singing the prayers. Y'all see that? Okay, yeah, what you got?
This is Psalms in the Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary, page 990 or 694. All right.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead. No.
The Hebrew designation of Psalms is Talhim, meaning praises, a term that reflects much of the book's context. Psalms. Its name in the Latin and English Bibles, however, comes from the Greek psalms, all right, which means twanging. And then, as a result, songs sung that accompanied of harps. This later name originated in the New Testament and reflects the forms of books, poetry. Same is true at the alternative title, meaning Psalms.
Right, so let's get it right too. When they were in the temple, they weren't trying to out-sing. They weren't singing the whole damn time. You know what I'm saying? You pray, but then you teach. Like when it says Christ rose in the Sabbath, and he read out of the book of Isaiah, he didn't say, oh, but they had to calm the band down first. There was time for all things, man. We pray after class, right? And you can, brothers from Light of Zion, they're good at that. Your brother Kahan, he'll take you through the prayers, but he'll take you through a beat. That's okay. That's okay too. We just don't want to misconstrue that unless I got a band or unless I'm singing in a like a tune that I'm not praying. You are praying. You are singing to the Most High. This is poetry to the Most High. All right. Was that it? Anything else?
Oh yeah. Question about the 12 tribes chart. Are natives and Hispanics Israelites?
Yes. Next question. Yes, they are, brother. Put that link in there for him too, or her. Yeah, we'll go ahead and hit you with a link on that because we've touched on that. And once again, this is history that if you were just listening earlier, I'm not sure if you just logged in or not, but we just touched on the last question. Was that the same person that asked a question?
No.
Okay, well, another person just asked a question, and what we did and what the elders done to get all this information was get history, archaeology, and anthropology of the people, of the scriptures. So first of all, we have to have the scriptures.
and then you have all these other books that bring out more information. Then look at the Hebrew that was found in New Mexico. The Hebrew evidence that was found in New Mexico. The Native Americans speaking Hebrew, okay, and following the laws, which this was recorded in history. So there's a lot of information, especially on the Native Americans. And when you say the Native Americans, you're talking about the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, the Toltecs, your Cherokees, Blackfoot, Navajo, all these Native Americans, right? They were following the customs of the scriptures. And if I'm not sure if you got it, but this book right here is by Ronald Sanders, and it gives you a collection of Diego Duran, these conquistadors, Spaniards, right, that came over here from Europe, okay, and they seen when they came over here, a lot of these Native Americans were so-called were following the themes of the scriptures. They were following the laws and commandments. So, yeah, we have historical evidence. We have Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that show you the curses of these people. You know what I mean? And we've been this evidence, the history, the knowledge has been taught since the 60s. Since the 60s. So now I know we got a new generation popping up that has been bred with the hate to hate their brothers. So they're trying to come and saying they're not. But the facts are, biblically, historically, the evidence can't be hid. So, yeah. All right, we'll hit you with the link on that. What else?
That's it.
All right, so we got an hour left, and he's going to touch on Zechariah, the 5th chapter. Zechariah, the 5th chapter, and we're going to touch over this. Like I said, Revelations 12, you go over it in scripture for scripture. That's what we're going to do with Zechariah, the 5th chapter. Show you the symbolic meaning. Show you the physical meaning of what was said symbolic. Okay?
All right. Give me a con once you guys got it.
Con.
Wow. All right, but one of the reasons why we're going over this is we're going to show you through the scriptures the understanding that it's not just a fairy tale book. Two, that the Most High, he's speaking in a future tense, and he's speaking he's speaking prophetically as a future tense. I'm sorry. All right. So these are things that are going to happen. It hadn't happened at that time, but these were events that were going to happen. And then if you want to look in history, if you want to look in America's history, you can see that these events did actually happen. So it's not just a fairy tale book, it's a historical book as well. You understand?
Con.
Yeah. It's so deep, but it's simple. When you're studying these scriptures, it's so deep, but you see the beauty and the perfection of the Most High and how he flows. It's natural poetry, but it's like live poetry. You know? When you read it, it's like reading it it brings you to life. It's like reading it for the first time. And when it's revealed to you, when the precepts and the understanding is revealed to you, it's like a light that shines brighter and brighter. You know what I mean? It feels good. It's like, you ever watch a favorite movie that you like, and then you're meditating on that movie all day? That's what these scriptures. That's what these stories in the scriptures does.
Con.
Go ahead.
It's a priceless feeling.
It is.
Well, to the ones that seek for wisdom, right?
Right.
The living waters.
Yeah. The living waters. All right. Go ahead. Where we at?
Zechariah chapter 1 verse 5. Zechariah chapter 5 verse 1.
Okay.
Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe.
Now we're starting off in Zechariah chapter 5. All right. And one thing I wanted to make a quick note of, that his name means Yahweh remembers. All right. His name means Yahweh remembers.
Zechariah.
Zechariah. All right.
You took the paper out when you left it at home, right?
good care. All right. God. So read verse 1 again.
Verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe.
So this is something that Zechariah see. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And he said unto me, what seest thou?
So this angel's talking to him and he asks, what do you see? All right.
God.
Go ahead.
Oh, God. And I answered, I see a flying robe.
He sees a what?
A flying robe.
So in other words, this is another form of what you call a chariot. This is what we call a chariot. All right.
God.
He sees a big chariot in the sky. All right.
Yes, sir, God.
You got that? Go ahead.
The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits.
So this chariot, now imagine if you will, you see this big chariot in the sky. Now it said it's what's the measurements? 20 cubits,
And-
right? And the breadth thereof 10 cubits. So you got a chariot that's 60 feet long and 40 feet wide. And that's just in the sky. That's
Yeah.
not even
60 feet?
yeah.
Damn. I was gonna say, when you look at roll, if you go back to Ezekiel, you see it said a whirlwind, it said a ring, it said a cloud, it said a flying, and now we're seeing a flying roll. So these are all different names for what you might call UFOs.
God, God.
60 feet by 40?
60 feet.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's big. And that's not even next to you yet. Yeah.
That's from far.
God, that's
So
from far.
he's seen this from far, and it was 60. What was it again?
It's 20 feet, 20 cubits by, and the breadth of it was 10 cubits.
Wow.
So it's 60 feet long and 40 feet wide. That's where they got that UFO ship coming in on Independence Day.
On Independence Day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it.
So now he's giving him some deep parable. All right. He's giving him. He's letting him see these things that are of events that are going to take place. All right.
God.
Now he hasn't given the understanding on it yet, but he's letting him know what he's seeing and what's happening.
Right. Because when you look at it, this is the curse. The curse, when they see those chariots, it's their curse. It's their destruction. Right?
Gone.
When they see those chariots part that fourth, that what you call come into the third dimension, they know that's their curse. That's why every movie is based off of that. Oh, the aliens are going to come. They're going to take over. They're going to kill us. They're going to destroy us. They're going to eat our brains out. So this is what Zechariah seen.
God.
Go ahead.
And every one that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it.
Right. So when you see when you see these chariots being part out of the clouds, right?
God.
All these people, all the lawbreakers, all the sinners, right? They're gonna be crapping their pants. Why? Because they know. Now they're seeing my time is up. I had my time to get right, and now it's up.
God.
They're about to be purged out of the land, right?
God. God.
When Israel was about to be overthrown, they knew my time is up. When we were carried away from our own land, they knew, dang, you know what?
That's it.
That's it. My butt whooping's at hand. It's like when you come home and you hear that jingle from your dad's belt, right? Yeah, it's so quiet. You thinking you escaped everything. You hear the doors lock, right? Then you hear the jingle of the belt. You're like, oh, I'm done. You start sweating. You start hyperventilating. You start crying, right? Butt puckering up, huh?
You fake like you're asleep.
Yeah, you fake like you asleep. You doing all of that. Why? Because you know it's time for that belt to get hit to that butt.
Let me throw in one in on that. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 5, verse 1.
Wisdom of Solomon 5 verse 1.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1.
Yeah. Wisdom of Solomon 5 verse 1. Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Right. So this is our salvation. What you're seeing, what Zechariah is showing us in this vision, it was their destruction. This chariot was going to be their end. But only for the ones that did what? They stand in great boldness before the face of them that afflicted him. Go ahead.
And made no account of his labor.
Yeah, and that's, remember that. Remember that they're not going to credit you. Our credit is going to come from the Most High. You see that? And we're gonna love, we're going to rejoice when we see those chariots. The only ones that should be fearing is the wicked. You understand?
Come.
You know, we're gonna fear out. We're gonna have fear, but we're gonna fear out of joy.
Come.
You know what I mean?
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Uh-huh.
When they see it, they shall be troubled.
Right? When they see it. So this is what Zechariah is seeing. When they see that chariot, when they see those chariots coming, they shall be troubled. Go ahead.
With terrible fear.
Read.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Why? Because everybody is being told that those chariots are green people. Those chariots are little green people. They're going to come back and take over and control your brain. Or squids. I don't know why they do that. Like they have alien movies. They have to have. Did you see Arrival? Have y'all seen Arrival yet? It's big squids or octopus.
Ugh.
Yeah. But once again, the Bible's telling you that it's strange to them because everybody's putting in their head what? The aliens are coming. The aliens are coming. These UFOs, they're green people. They're going to get you and then probe your butthole. That's why it's strange to them. Go ahead.
So far beyond all that they knew, that they looked for.
Right. So far beyond what we look for. What they look for. See, they think everybody's just one day going to pop. And then next you know, your clothes is going to be gone. You're going to just disappear. And you have a headpiece right there. And if you didn't disappear, you were left behind. No. It says, all eyes shall see him. And they shall fear. Their knees shall be weak as water. Y'all see that?
Can you imagine what form that'll be? Like what form it'll be in for everybody to see him simultaneously? How big that is? That's hot.
Right.
Oh. You want me to keep
No, go ahead, read on.
Verse 3. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit.
They what?
Repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit.
Now we're understanding. Watch, hold that. Check this out. Check this out right here. Go to Philippians 2 verse 10. So this is what, remember man, this is why it said the secrets were for you. Like when you read this chapter, you start looking at everything that he's talking about, the role and everything, right? What it said in that first verse, it said, in that.
The beginning of the verse?
No, Zechariah, it said,
He said unto me, this is the curse.
yeah, this is the curse. You know what the curse is, man? Not knowing. The curse is not understanding what the hell's going on. The curse is thinking that, those are just falling stars. That's a curse in itself. Even that much more, when they come, you don't know anything but green people. You don't know this is going to destroy you. But check this out. They are going to know. Philippians 2 verse 10.
Philippians chapter 2, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
That at the name of Yahweh Shai, every knee should bow.
Why? Why is every knee gonna bow? You gotta think about it. Because all these chariots, 20,000s and thousands and thousands of angels, are gonna be flooding the sky. Now I don't know if y'all seen this the other day, and I don't know if it's true. But did y'all see that? Did you see that link on that demon or angel or whatever it was?
On Facebook,
Did y'all see that? Now I still can't believe it.
the one in Baton Rouge.
I still can't believe it. But I'll tell you like this. Imagine if you seen those angels and they were 15, 20 feet, 30 feet tall. Thousands and thousands. That's why every knee shall fall. Every knee shall fall to the ground. Right? Read on.
Of things in heaven and things in earth.
Listen, everybody's gonna bow. The heavens and the earth. Go from there, go to Ezekiel 7 verse 17. Go to Ezekiel 7 verse 17.
Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 17.
Ezekiel 7 verse 17. So this is why where Zechariah is saying that this was the what?
This is the curse.
This is the curse. The curse is those chariots. When they come, they know that's their end. That's it. It's over. Read that.
Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 17.
Uh-huh. Read
All-
16.
16. Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
But they that escaped of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountain like doves of the valley.
Uh-huh.
All of them mourning,
Uh-huh.
every one in his iniquity.
Go ahead.
All hands shall be feeble, and all knees weak like water. As water.
It says all knees shall be weak like water. You're going to pass the hell out. Imagine it. Bro, when I seen that, I seen the picture of that. I my stomach got hurt. I was like, hold on, this can't be real. I was like, I got nauseous. I was like, no, not like this. I was like, why is this? It had to be fake though. Why are you just standing there like that? You know what I mean? Now, now we believe in angels and demons. But I don't know, man. You gonna stand there and take a picture of it like that? I don't know. But these are the things that we have to understand. Bro, when you see those chariots, they're going to know it's your dread. Just like when you seen that, you was like, what the? Because you know why? Imagine thousands and thousands of those. That's why fear, brother, you got to fear the Most High. Watch this. Go to Isaiah 13. 13 verse 7. Isaiah 13 verse 7. So this is what the Most High is showing us that Zechariah is seeing. This is what the chariots mean to them. And we're going to go back to Wisdom of Solomon and finish that up too.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Therefore shall all hands be faint.
It says what?
All hands be faint.
All hands shall be what?
Faint.
All hands shall be faint. Go ahead.
And every man's heart shall melt.
And your heart is going to melt. There ain't going to be no mighty men. There ain't going to be no, I got my guns and my Uzis and my missile launchers. There's not. You're going to melt. Go ahead.
And they shall be afraid.
Uh-huh.
Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them.
That's where your loins, your bowels get loose. You know, oh. You know, somebody ever sneak up behind you? No, but really get you like, your heart start pumping.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. That's what the Most High is saying. As a thief in the night. Go ahead.
They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth.
Yeah, they shall be in pain as a woman that travails. You see that?
God.
So this is what the Most High is showing us, man. That's going to take hold. This is why it was a, what did he say?
The curse that goes.
This is why it's the curse that goeth first. Jump back to Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 3.
Right. What verse is that? The curse. Read on. Read 3 again from the top.
And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves,
Uh-huh.
This is he whom we have sometime
Kept in derision.
in derision,
Uh-huh.
and a proverb of reproach.
Right. So this is they know those chariots are going to be coming for us. Go ahead.
Verse 4. We fools counted his life madness.
We fools did what?
Counted his life madness.
Right. We counted his life madness. So we got that, right? The strangers of salvation. We got that one. You read that already?
Stranger salvation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's it on that. Yeah. What's up?
When it says we had sometimes had them in derision and a proverb and a reproach.
That's speaking of the servants, right?
Yeah.
Or is that speaking of, okay.
That's speaking of what they when they see us, they're gonna be saying these things.
All right.
The niggas, the monkeys, the wetbacks, the border jumpers,
He was supposed to be a ruler.
the water beetles, little Tyrone,
You mean this nigga right here?
right? Them? No, that's what they're gonna be. That's what's gonna go through their mind. Damn, we accounted them as nothing, right? All right, go ahead.
Verse 4, Zechariah.
Zechariah chapter 5, verse 4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name.
Oh,
And it shall remain in the midst of his house,
go ahead.
and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof.
So he's showing you that this chariot, it's not only just gonna come and destroy, but it's coming to vanquish, bro. It's coming to vaporize. You see that? It's coming to break stuff up.
Right. Let me go to unless you got some on that one. What's the one in Isaiah I just put?
Isaiah chapter 13 and 7.
Let me write that one down. It's one of my favorite boys right there. Go to Obadiah. We're gonna go to Obadiah and Joel. So read that part you just read again.
Verse 4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief.
Right. So they know this is gonna enter into the house. As a matter of fact, before you go to Obadiah, go to Joel. Go to Joel, right? Joel 3.
Verse 1 and 2.
So these are I'm sorry, Joel 2, excuse me. Joel 2.
And
2 and 2.
2 and 2.
Read 1.
Read 1. Joel.
And this goes what? What verse you just read?
Verse 4.
This goes with verse 4. And verse 4 and 5. Go ahead.
Joel chapter 2, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Tell all the inhabitants of the land, tremble.
Uh-huh.
For the
Well, we know what they're going to be trembling at.
Come.
Right? The strangers of your salvation. That chariot that they seen, that was symbolic for the deliverance. Go ahead.
For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
Go ahead.
And a day of darkness and of gloom.
Right, and this is why they're scared out of their pants. This is why they're weak, they're feeble. Because he's going to come as a thief in the night. Remember, one of the key scriptures you have to keep in mind, thief in the night. He said, as in the days of Noah, they were partying and dancing and giving in marriage. We always tell brothers this, remind them of these scriptures. Why? Because a lot of people think it's going to be desert. It's going to be, what's the Denzel movie?
Book of Eli.
Yeah, it's going to be Book of Eli, Last Days. You're ciphering gas out of somebody, throwing blades, and all that stuff. No. It says, as in the days of Noah, they're going to be partying, dancing, giving in marriage. You ain't gonna give in marriage and party and dancing, and the world is you ciphering gas and you can't get here, there, and you getting killed. Mad Max and the Thunderdome. That ain't gonna happen. Because then it won't be like a thief, right?
That's
You
expected.
know it's the end.
Then it would be expected.
Yeah, you know, damn, Christ is gonna come any day soon. But what's unexpected? Where everything thinks like everything is fine. Like y'all crazy. Look, the economy's up. Obama left with 4.7% job increase. It's like, are you serious? That's how they think. That's why I said, blessed are your eyes for they see. Remember that. Go ahead.
A day of darkness and of gloominess.
A day of what?
Darkness and of gloominess.
And that's what this day is. That's what these chariots represent. A day of darkness and gloominess. Go ahead.
A day of clouds and a day of thick darkness.
Read.
As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong.
Uh-huh.
There has not been ever like.
Right. Now, who knows what it means, a great people and a strong?
Oh,
What?
that's the angels coming out.
That's the angels. How do we know? How do we know? Because first of all, we're talking about the day of the Lord, right? How did it say the Lord was going to come back? With a scripture. Come on, officer of 100. Let's go. Well, how do we know?
With his armies.
Where's the scripture at? Y'all sisters, if y'all know where it is, get it. See, how do you know that the day of the Most High, when he come back, he's going to come back with the armies? These people, these great people, and he's strong, it's not talking about regular people, we're going to find out. As you read down in this chapter. Come on. Revelations 19 and 11. Come on.
Revelation chapter 19, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Oh, can I say this before?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you can tell, because it says, a great people and a strong, there had not been ever the like.
There you go.
So
they have been ever alike, because this is not a people. These are they're gonna be a people in that day, because they're gonna come in the flesh. They're gonna come in this material you might call human flesh, but they still ain't gonna be like us. Go ahead. What?
Revelation chapter 19, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse.
Right.
And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Read.
And in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Go ahead.
His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew,
Right.
but he himself.
Right. So now we understand that when Christ come back, you see how when you link these scriptures up, this is what Zechariah was seeing. He was seeing this chariot, which was going to be the destruction, but our salvation. You understand?
God.
These chariots is our salvation, but their destruction. Go ahead.
That no man knew but he himself.
Uh-huh.
Verse 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
Right.
And his name is called the Word of God.
Talking about Christ. Go ahead.
And the armies.
The what?
And the armies.
The what?
The armies.
The great people in Joel are what?
The armies.
The armies. These great people are the armies of what? Read.
Which were in heaven followed him upon white horses.
Uh-huh.
Clothed in fine linen.
Right. So we're talking about the armies that came with him. That chariot in Zechariah was a representation of the armies that will be coming back with the Son of God.
Right.
Go back to Joel. Jump back to Joel real quick.
Joel chapter 2, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
A day of darkness and of gloominess.
Right. Now we know why. Because he's going to come as a thief in the night. Everybody shall see him. Every tongue shall confess. Their knees shall be weak as water, right? Go ahead.
A day of clouds, of thick darkness.
Uh-huh.
A day of mornings. A day of, as the morning spread upon the mountains.
Go ahead.
A great people, a strong. There has not been ever the like.
Right.
neither shall be any more after it.
Yeah, because the Most High, these angelic beings, man, the power that they're gonna come with and have. Go ahead.
Even to the years of many generations.
Go ahead.
A fire devours before them,
Right.
and behind them a flame burneth.
Right. And we're gonna jump around in here because I don't want to go over the whole chapter because then we won't be able to go back over. So you're gonna jump down. Man, you're gonna jump down. What?
Oh, I had one just to show what the people are going to be doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on. You want to bring it in now, or you want me to finish this one?
Finish verse 3.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna jump to verse 5, verse 4.
Verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses,
Go ahead.
and as horsemen,
Right.
so shall they run. 5. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains, they leap. Like the noise of a flame.
Like the
of
noise
fire.
of a what?
Of a flame of fire.
Like the noise of a flame of a fire. This is what the Most High is showing us, that these chariots that are inhabited by these angels, they're going to move like the noise of a flame of a fire. That's all you're going to hear. People flying and dying. It's going to be a crazy day. Go ahead.
That devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle
array.
Array.
Right. See, so I just wanted to touch over here, but if y'all get the chance, you can read all the way down. Go ahead.
Go to Revelations chapter 6 and verse 14.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 14.
Volante, grab me Ezekiel. My brain's moving faster than my lips. Ezekiel chapter 21 and verse 7. All right. So this great curse that's coming from out of the heavens, right? Now remember, let's start it off. Remember, how big was this chariot? 60 by 40 feet, and that's just in the sky. That's not even a person standing next to it, right? Okay, so go ahead. What's that, Ezekiel?
Ezekiel 21:11.
No, verse 7.
7. And it shall be, when they say unto thee, wherefore sighest thou? That thou shalt answer, for the tidings, because it cometh.
Go ahead.
And every heart shall melt.
So when they see these chariots, when they see the so-called aliens, but really the angels coming out, right? What's going to happen to them? Their hearts are going to melt. Go ahead.
And all hands shall be feeble, and every spirit shall faint, and all knees shall be weak as water.
We just went over that.
Behold.
Yeah, we just went over
Oh, you did?
that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, then I'm sorry, I wrote that down wrong. Give me.
No, you didn't write it down wrong. I just had put it. I put the gun quicker.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
Hey, all's fair. Give me Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 14.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 14.
So we know that they're all feeble-handed and weak-kneed and broken-hearted and their butts puckering up, right?
That's
so
right.
now what are they going to be doing? Go ahead, verse 14.
Verse 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places.
So when you read and you go through the scriptures and understand about Revelations, sometimes it'll refer to a nation or a kingdom as a mountain. All right? All right, go ahead.
Verse 15. And the kings of heaven, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens.
So you got all these top-notch societies. You got all these top-notch peoples of the higher echelons, right? Yeah. They think they can escape this ass whooping that's about to come to them, right? You got the generals. You got the Steinbergs. You got the
elites.
The who?
The elites.
The elites. The Londonbergs. All these Bergish people. Bergamotists. What is the Rockefellers,
Right.
right?
Rothschilds.
The Rothschilds.
Yeah, like I mean, y'all. I'm sure y'all already know when you go to YouTube how many dens they're building and secret hiding places in the earth and the bottom of Denver, all that madness, right? That ain't gonna help them.
Right? So you got all these top-notch, higher elite, higher echelon people trying to hide from this ass whooping that's about to come. Go ahead.
Hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains.
So they're hiding themselves. They're making these bunkers, doomsday preppers, right? Go ahead.
And said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne.
Who are they hiding from?
Yahushua.
They're hiding from Yahushua. They said, hide us from the face that sits upon the throne. Hide us from this belt that's about to touch my butt, my tender, delicate butt. They're scared. They got bubble guts. That's what's going on. Go ahead.
And from the wrath of the Lamb.
And from the wrath, how you get scared of an angry lamb? You got to be a messed up person to piss off a lamb. Anybody ever seen a mad sheep? A mad goat? Huh? But it's nothing to be messed with. You ever see a ram just buck up and just bam? Yeah, it hurts, right? Come on, you made a lamb mad. You know there's something up, right? Come on, they're asking for these rocks to fall on us. Why? Because we got to hide ourselves from this butt whooping that's about to come. You know what? I realized within my heart I did wrong, and I'm sweating, and I don't know what to do, and right? Yeah, that's what's going on here. Go ahead.
And from the wrath of the Lamb.
And from the wrath of the Lamb. Go ahead.
For the great day of his wrath is come.
For the great day of that wrath is coming. That's at hand.
Right, so that's what Zechariah, the 5th chapter, that's what the chariot represented to these people.
Right.
Y'all got that?
Got it.
So let's jump back.
Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5.
You got 5? Or did you? You got 4?
Got it. Zechariah chapter 5, verse 4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name.
So he's going from town to town, city to city, house to house, right?
Okay.
Those who did any type of form of wickedness, he's got something coming for him, right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
And it shall remain in the midst of his house.
And it's going to remain there till all this work gets done. That's where it's going to be. Go ahead.
And shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof.
Ain't nothing going to stop this.
Okay.
Nothing can prevent the Most High from bringing this wrath that he's about to bring down on the people who are doing wicked, whether it be Jew or whether it be Gentile.
That's why when you go to Revelations, it tells you it's going to be a continual burning fire. So this is what read that last part again.
And shall consume it with the, and it shall remain in the midst of his house. And shall consume it with the timber thereof.
Right. So this is what it means by what's it say? It says oh man, it's a saying. It's in Revelations. Fire and brimstone. You understand? When the scriptures say fire and brimstone, this is the destruction that the angels, going back to that Joel, when it says they shall enter into their houses, they shall run like sparks. This is all what the Spirit is showing us in Zechariah the 5th chapter. The same thing. That's why we're jumping to these different precepts, to show you that it's all concurrent with what Zechariah is saying. But Zechariah he's more given in a parable form. But the scriptures, when you link them, is showing us what's going to happen. You got that? Got it?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 5, Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5. Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me.
So now we got this, like I said, this is all coming from an angel. All right, so Zechariah is not just getting this out of the quasars. This is an angel talking to Zechariah. All right? What did he say?
Lift up now thine eyes and see what is this that goeth forth.
So now I'm about to give you the understanding of what we were talking about. All right? Go ahead.
And I said, what is it? And he said, this is an ephod that goeth forth.
Now an ephod, okay, an ephod is a certain measure, all right? It's a certain measuring, all right, and it's the elect.
Okay.
So he's saying a certain elect. All right, go ahead.
Right, because now we're understanding that why is it an ephod if it's a certain measure, right? Okay, why does it have to do with the elect? This ephod that goes forth, why?
That's the 144.
Right, because we're going to be saved through the chariots. The elect is the only ones that's going to be saved.
All right.
You see that? So why does that symbolically mean our salvation? That's why we went to all the scriptures. The chariots, right? That was the strangest of their salvation. Y'all see that?
All right.
Go ahead.
He said, moreover, this is their resemblance through all the earth.
So the resemblance, all right. So we understand that the ephod, right, is the elect, right? The 144,000, right?
Okay.
So what would the resemblance be? Go ahead.
As unto Christ.
It would be close. The resemblance would be Israel.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
Right. Remember, it's all saying the same thing. It's our salvation. This symbolically means it's for us. It represents the people. Got it?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 7. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman.
Okay. So this talent of lead, all right. What do you think that means?
Talent of lead?
No,
Yeah.
he's not. Just tell them,
I'm
because
sorry.
they don't know the breakdown.
I'm sorry. This is that weight, that heaviness. All right. A talent of lead, right? Something heavy.
Okay.
You see that? Yeah. So that's what this is. All right. Go ahead.
That sitteth in the midst of the ephod.
So this talent or this lead is going to be in the midst of what was the ephod class?
The people.
The what?
The elect.
The elect.
Right. So the ephod is represented the elect, right? Which was Israel, the chosen, right? That was their resemblance, right? So this talent of lead is where? Read it again.
The talent of and the talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephod.
Right. So Israel, or excuse me, the Babylon in this instance, Babylon the great, the whore, the effeminate, homosexual kingdom, right? Bestiality, transsexuality. We are in the midst of them.
Oh, okay.
You understand that?
Okay.
Go ahead.
In verse 8, and he said, this is wickedness.
Right. So this wickedness does what? It weighs us down.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This wickedness weighs us down.
Psalms chapter 12 and verse 26.
So y'all see that, right?
Okay.
So the ephod was the certain measure. That certain measure we know is the elect. That was the resemblance. It resembled the elect, the people, Israel, right? Then verse 7, I want you to read verse 7 again, huh?
Okay, verse Zechariah chapter 5, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead.
Right, so he's seeing this talent of lead. We know a talent of lead. Remember, this is all symbolism. So a talent of lead is heavy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And this is a woman that sitteth in the midst.
Right, because this woman, this talent of lead was damn weighing down on us. Weighing down on us how? With filth, wickedness, lies, corruption, death, destruction. Y'all see that?
Okay.
Okay. That's why it's heavy on us. Go ahead.
Of the ephod.
Right, so this is sitting on Israel. It's sitting on the elect. Where are we at now?
Psalms chapter 12 and verse 26.
Chapter 12 and verse 26.
Yes, sir.
It's only 8 verses in 12.
Psalms 12.
Yes, sir.
No, or Proverbs. I'm sorry. Did I say Psalms? I meant Proverbs. I'm so sorry. I'm looking right at it, but I'm like,
Yeah, and listen, if we don't finish this chapter, this is a good chapter, man. It's just a lot. You see how we only been over a few verses, but we're trying to give you every scripture that links with the verse. Y'all got that?
God, yes, sir.
Okay.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26.
Uh-huh.
The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
so the people who are not bowing down to this society and what they have, right? He's more excellent than his neighbor. In the midst of this wickedness in this society, you can still rise above the pollution that you're surrounded around, right? Naturally, we're upright because we have the Most High's name on us, right?
John.
Read.
But the ways of the wicked seduceth them.
But the ways of the wicked, they're seductive. That's what's weighing us down.
Mm-hmm.
Their ways, their customs, their ideologies, their false doctrines, their false teachings. That's what weighs you down. When a kid comes home and he sees everybody happy in school and they're singing Christmas carols, and he's like wondering, that weighs down a child on the inside, right? When you're at work and you hear everybody gossiping and talking about who slept with who and every Tom, Dick, and Harry and how she been and how she flipped this way and that way, right? That's got to weigh you down, right?
Yeah.
When you dress in with your head, when you got your head covered in and you dressed moderately and you see every single woman walking around in the spandex and the leggings, they got their drawers on the outside, basically.
Yeah.
Right? And you see every man turning their head looking at that woman like, ooh, doing all kinds of whistling, right? Yeah, all that, right? But that weighs a piece of you down like, damn, maybe I'm not attractive. Hey, I think I look kind of stupid with this head cover. Or, you know what I mean? You start feeling some type of way. Right? Oh man, I got a big, hairy, bushy face and a bald, faded head, right? Nobody else looks like that. Why I gotta look like an old 70s man? Right? Right? These things weigh down on you. You see that? This is why the wicked seduces us. Because they want you to know, they want to let you know, oh yeah, baby soft skin on a man, that's masculine. A man wearing crotch catching jeans, right? Sagging crotch catching jeans, that's sexy. Right? Single woman damn near butt naked in front of you with all her orifices showing, that's sexy. That seduces us. That's that weight. That's that woman. That's that wickedness. What's up?
I'm gonna say the media too. Like when you watch TV, you hear the music, you see all that. When you look at a music video, you see how they're living, right? The contents of the music, and then you watch TV, you watch shows, and you watch the BS on the TV.
Right.
That stuff weighs on you too.
Oh, listen, it goes hand in hand. When you hear about Killer B, snort this much drugs, smoke this till I was stupid, then I did had defiled sex with this woman and this girl, and then I just call them hoes this and hoes that, right? And then you see it, yeah, that weighs on you, because you don't have any escape. But the righteous, he's more excellent than his neighbor. Why? Because he does have an escape.
This is where we went over earlier, where it says he stood for boldness. He stood in great boldness against them that afflicted him. So we could stand in the midst of this crooked and perverse generation and not let it destroy us. But it is going to vex us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Go to 2 Peter 2, verse 8. What did you pull? Proverbs 26?
Yeah, Proverbs 12 and 26.
Yeah, Proverbs 12:26. I'll put that one there first. Sequence of that is weird, but I'll do it. Proverbs 12:26. Read that.
Second Peter's?
2 Peter's 2 and 8.
2 Peter's chapter 2, verse 8. For that righteous man dwelling among them, in seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day.
Right, it did what?
Vexed his righteous soul from day to day.
Yeah, it vexes us, man.
God.
Man, you look around and you're like, man, my kids gotta partake in this. I can't achieve to the level you want. Listen, listen, being a Hebrew Israelite, you can't, with the unity that we have, we supposed to be achieving things, man, beyond what we are. But there's still small things holding us back. It's still selfishness holding us back.
Right.
And that's the curse. That's the curse. So you're vexed. You're righteous. And that's, I mean, we can talk about being vexed all day. What bothers, what wears down on your spirit. But that's why, remember, in Revelation it said, here's the patience and faith of the saints, that we know the outcome of what's going to happen, right?
Right.
For the present suffering is not compared to the glory that's going to be revealed in us.
That's why the righteous are as bold as a lion.
Right.
Because when you look at what a lion does, he keeps any negative influence outside of his den. The hyenas come up, the cheetahs come up, the baboons come up. What do? They fend them off.
Right.
What are those creatures representative of, though?
Spirits.
Those spirits, those beastly thoughts and ideas that try to overtake us, that try to weigh us down every day. But the righteous, they're as bold as a lion. Why? Because they will not have anybody else piss on their property.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Right.
So-
It's serious.
So this is why the talent aled, the woman, in this case the woman is Babylon. It weighs down the ephah. It weighs down the elect. It weighs down the chosen. And that's what it's meant to do. All this wickedness, man, is meant to weigh you down. Go to Hebrews, so I think it's 12:2. Go to Hebrews 12:2. And we've been touching on this a little lately.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2.
Yeah, Hebrews 12, verse 2.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
Looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith,
Uh-huh.
who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross.
He endured. That's why we have to endure.
Right.
Because we're living in the midst of a wicked and perverse generation, right? And our righteous spirit are vexed. The homosexuality, the lies, the corruption, the falsehood, the work,
Ugh.
every damn thing, right? You're vexed. Go ahead. But that's our cross. That's what we bear. We have to bear seeing all this filth, seeing all this lies, right?
Right.
And yet still do what? The will of the Most High. Shine as lights in the world. What?
You know what I was gonna say? Like, even though, yeah, we're vets and everything, it's like what we were going over earlier about the day of the Lord when He comes back. So I always think of that, man.
Right.
I don't want any part of
But
that.
that's what barrels the righteous all the way through.
God.
You know, the present suffering can't be compared with the glory that's going to be revealed in us.
God.
But it is a vexing spirit.
Yeah.
It's a vexing spirit day to day, man.
God.
Living in this damn hell. Go ahead, read on.
Despising the shame.
We have to go back and, you know what? Through the negative, through the things we're catching, trials and tribulation, we gotta despise that, right? Go ahead.
Despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne
Go ahead.
of God.
Uh-huh.
For consider him that endured such contradiction
Go ahead.
of sinners against himself, lest ye be weary.
Right, no, but the point I wanted here, it says, let us lay aside every weight. That is that weight, that talent. And the sin which do it so easily beset us. The talent, the symbolic meaning of that talent is us being vexed by negative and sin. We got to lay it aside. You understand?
God.
But we know that what? Go from there, go to it's, Ecclesiastes. Go to Ecclesiastes. Gotta throw this one in here. When you talk about this talent weighing us down.
4 6.
What is it?
I know.
Is it 4 and 6?
Oppression maketh the wise man mad?
No,
7 and 16. Ecclesiastes 7 and 16.
Read it.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Be not righteous over much.
No.
Oh,
7 and 7.
7 and 7. God is lying.
7 and 7. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Yeah, so that's the weight. Man, that weighs down on you. The oppression, the sin, the negative, right? Having to see it. That's why that 2 Peter's, man, 2 and 8, that's right on point right there. For the righteous man dwelling amongst us in seeing and hearing, it says, vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. You see that? But when you read out, it says, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the ungodly the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. So the Most High is not frustrated. But remember this, there's no temptation that has befallen you that you cannot overcome. You know that?
Okay.
So we got to see it, and this is what we've been dealt with. We got to deal with it. We got to deal with that weight on us, but we can't be influenced by it. We can't let it overcome us. Y'all got that?
Okay.
What's up,
I mean, this might be a little off, but Job 9 and 18,
What you got?
it says, he will, verse 17,
Uh-huh.
17.
Job chapter 9 verse 17. For he breaketh me with a tempest, and multiplieth my wounds without cause.
Mm-hmm.
He will not suffer me to take my breath, but filleth me with bitterness.
So even though, yeah, we're going to go through everything, we getting oppressed by the wicked,
Right.
it's like you just said, the scripture you just quoted. It's we can overcome it.
Right.
And even though it might be bad, it will not make us. It won't be bad enough to the point where it's like we're going to take our own life.
Right. It won't destroy us.
Okay.
If we keep Hebrews 12, 1 and 2 in mind, and looking to Christ, the author of and the finisher,
Okay.
then this weight of sin around us, constantly trying to destroy us and pull us back into the world, we can overcome it.
Okay.
That's what it means. I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me.
That's why I said, I know thy works and thy tribulation, but you're still rich.
Right.
Right? And then that's why Christ also said, he said, come to me that are heavy laden, right?
Okay.
With burdens. He knows, he's saying, come to me, because I know you got hell that's weighing upon you. But guess what? My burden's light. That's why it's nothing. And that's why these days, the days or the years that we live aren't to be compared to what's to come.
Okay.
That's why he's saying, my burden's light.
Yeah.
You want to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders? Well, guess what? You can carry that weight when you see the clouds part too.
What verse are we at?
We're at Zechariah chapter 5, verse 8.
Right. We'll read this one, and then we'll stop because it's 9. Because we don't want to go and then have to cut off.
Right.
But it just goes right with everything we went over. Read it.
Verse 8. And he said, this is wickedness.
Yeah, this is wickedness. That's what's cast upon us. Wickedness. Go ahead.
And he cast it into the midst of the ephod.
Uh-huh.
And he cast the weight of lead upon the mouth thereof.
Right. So showing you that weight weighs us down, that wickedness constantly surround us. Where's the I keep quoting it, but I want to get that one for y'all. We gotta add that one. Let me see here. Damn. That's not equipment perverse. It's yeah, 2 and 15, Philippians 2 verse 15.
Philippians chapter 2, verse 15.
Yeah.
That ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God,
Right.
without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation,
There you go.
among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
Then that's what we still supposed to be, even though this weight is on us. Because we're in the midst of a filthy, crooked, perverse generation, man. And we got to stay righteous. So, but y'all see how the symbolism, now he's giving us the understanding. But we're also adding scriptures to that too to show you this thing is real. Y'all see that?
Come.
All right, so right.
1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13.
Yeah, and then we ended on that one. If y'all got any other questions on this, we'll answer those. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you but such as common to man.
So everybody in this world is always going to have some problems. Everybody has weight on their shoulders. You understand? That's common to man. Any man that's born upon this earth, you will have problems. Whether you're doing this work or whether you're out there in the world, you will have issues. Right? Go ahead.
But God is faithful.
But the Most High, he never reneges on what he says. Those who follow the Most High, he already said from the beginning what he's got for you when you follow him. He tells you what you have if you follow him, and he tells you what you're going to get if you don't follow him. Plain and simple. He gave you both sides. That's why he said, choose you this day, life or death. That's common to man now. You understand?
All right.
Go ahead.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Imagine it like this. When you're at the gym, right? And somebody's spotting you some weights, right? You imagine that bar, you push it down on your chest and you can barely lift it up, right? He's saying he got you. He's not going to let you go, but he's not going to give you more weight than you can carry. That's why Christ said, come to me, for my burden is light. I know what you can carry. I know what you're capable of, so I'm going to give you this. Right? Listen, I know you guys were wicked as hell, so I'm going to give you over to I'm not going to give you over to a reprobate mind, but I'm going to put this and this in front of you, and I'm going to show you. I'm gonna give the earth into the hands of the wicked and show you what the wicked run like. Oh, you guys wanted to be about this life, so I'm gonna let them rule it and show you what that life is like. You see that? Read.
But will with all temptation also make a way to escape.
But what does he do in the midst of this crooked and perverse generation? Read that precept again.
But will with temptation also make a way to escape.
He's going to make a way for you to escape. But you got to be a follower of him. You got to be a follower and a doer of this word. Then he'll make a way for you to escape. If he sees you trying, then the Most High will fight for you. That's what the scripture says. Go ahead.
That ye may be able to bear it.
Why? Because he wants you to be able to bear it. So he's going to make a way for you to escape. He's going to make a way for you to push the bar up. You see that?
All right.
But any questions on what we went over so far? I guess we had 2 questions online.
On the topic?
On the topic or off the topic? What's up?
Oh yeah, somebody hit me up too real quick. Let me see right here. I think we answered this one, right? Can you? Oh, Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, and no man shall buy you. Buy is an old Quaker word. When you look that up, if you even look it up in Hebrew, it's talking about redeem. Redeeming. So it's talking about no man was going to redeem us or take us out of this position. It's not in the sense of like, we were going to go into slavery and no one was going to pay for you. Right. You know, it was saying that no man was going to redeem you out of your condition. Okay. So that's that. And then what else we got?
It says, why are you not in Gohana, a group I just researched on is in Gohana now and ready to confuse our people already. I got confused 3 times already. Your teaching and my reading of the Bible helped me. So why aren't we in Jihana? Is that Nephilim?
I don't understand what they mean. I didn't even understand the point there.
Well, they're saying there's some people out there in Gehenna that are confusing me. But them reading the Bible and watching us teach, it's helping him. It's
Oh,
helping this
okay,
individual.
okay. Now I understand. Yeah. Yeah. Where is that at though?
You looking that up, son?
Yeah, where's that at? The far, man,
West Africa.
West Africa.
Oh, it's Ghana.
Oh, Ghana!
Yeah.
I'm like, Guyana?
That's
That's a Street Fighter 2,
that's Gihana.
yeah, it's like, yeah.
Ghana.
Ghana. Oh, yeah, you were saying that all wrong. You had me. It's like, what the? Oh, right. We definitely need to be out there. We need to be a lot of places. But until we can get to that level and get the support to do things to that level, we have to do it this way. You know, we have to teach this way. But yeah, we're trying to do a lot of things, but it's hard when you do it yourselves. You know, we support ourselves. Nobody helps us. Just the brothers and sisters here in this school. So, you know, it's hard.
It says, why is the preacher having a head cover like chic?
Okay, it's just that it's a head cover and his head. That's now you see why I didn't wear these. His head is not covered. It's got a hole in the top. All right, because you're supposed to have your head. It's supposed to be seen, but that's why I don't do certain things because now it's gonna bring. It's gonna bring questions. It's just a head cover. That's all it is.
Right.
All right.
Is it important to have a Hebrew name?
Yeah, I would think so. Like anything you get involved with, like when you become a Crip, your name ain't no longer, little Tyrone. It's little C-Rag. You know what I mean? You become a, online. You play online, right? Your online name is what? Little Dirtbag, right? Little Go Get It, right? You get your dating name. You know what I mean? You called
Senor Sancho.
Yeah, Senor Sancho. We're making a joke about it, but really, anything you get involved with, and you start to conform to that. Same thing in the spirit of the Most High. This is above all those things. You come in. The scriptures say, Colossians 3:9, Ephesians 4:24, that you put on the new man, that's renewed in the spirit of your mind. So as you put on this new man, you put off the English person. You put off the Gentile, and you put on the Hebrew. So you get a Hebrew name. So yeah, it's important you get a Hebrew name. You know?
After repentance, are the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 lifted?
Oh, hell no, they're not lifted. They still here. The curses are still here. The thing is, your mind is free. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So you're free. So as you start practicing the laws and the commandments, you come out of the slavery mentality, mind state. But it's only so far because we know ultimate salvation wasn't going to come just through the law. It was going to come through Christ. So, because if that was the case, some Israelites, if all we had to do was keep the law to get out of slavery, it would be easy. But it wasn't going to be achievable that way. Okay? The way we're going to get that ultimate salvation is Christ coming back and changing the roles and destroying and bringing this kingdom down. Because even as we're trying to keep the laws of the Most High, just like we just went over, we're still in the midst of a wicked and perverse generation. You can't keep the laws to your full potential.
They won't let you.
They won't let you. They won't let you not work on the Sabbath. They got our people working on the Sabbath. They won't let you follow the high holy days. The whole earth is going to follow the high holy days.
They're going to mix your food they're gonna mix your food on the grill intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't eat pork, you still associated 3 ways from Kevin Bacon ate pork.
Right. You go to that restaurant, you're like, I'm keeping the laws. No, you're not. You just ate pork was touching your food somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
A menstruous woman touched that door before you came in.
yeah, you touched the door, a menstruous woman touched it, now you're dirty. Somebody that came from a funeral the other day, they're unclean. It says they're unclean for 7 days, but guess what? They touched you, they were around you, they're unclean. So, the law wasn't gonna save you to the point that's needed. That's why Christ had to come in. So, it's the beginning though. It's the beginning, because now you start to change your mind, you start to change here, your thought process. The anger, the lust, the pride, the jealousy, the hatred, the doubt. All these things are being changed in you now, and those are important. So, no, when you get the laws and start following them, we still in captivity. We're still in slavery, but it's gonna come. We gotta be patient, and the Most High is gonna add to what we need. We need this kingdom down, overthrown. All right. So what else?
I don't know. Understand if this is a question or a comment. It said, "Call for support. Ghana brothers will donate."
Yeah, I mean, we would go anywhere. We don't got no problem traveling. Like we told the brothers, the sister that wants us out in Baton Rouge, we don't got no problem with that. We just know this, that when we go do it, we're not playing. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of people think. They say something, and I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm just saying a lot of people, they don't understand. You have some people on the fad of being an Israelite, and then you have brothers that really, we dedicated our whole life. I've been in this since I was a child, and I started putting my work in at 16. You know what I mean? Brothers have given up their lives for this. So when we go do it, we do it. We're not coming to play. We're coming out to teach. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what we do is we tell people, listen, if you're serious, like we told the brothers and sisters in Baton Rouge, let's try to get them to watch class. Would they show up at your house and dedicate themselves to sitting and watching class? That's the first step. Because like when we go out to places, we'll go out there, we'll set up class, and people are like, nah, I don't know, maybe I'll make it, maybe I won't. We can do that here.
Come on, getting up during the middle of class, during the middle of teaching, going up to...
My thing is that a lot of people don't take it serious. Right. And when we go out to teach, it's serious. We don't just leave families and spend money, and most of all, we don't go out to play games. So we will do it, but know that we want brothers and sisters that's going to be like-minded. That's what the scriptures teach. That we're like-minded and you're ready. You're saying, hey, we're going to get these brothers out here. It ain't to waste time. It ain't to waste money, but it's really to get taught and open up a school and teach this word. That's what we're about. So, but if you can ask anybody here, you can ask brothers and sisters states that we've been through. When we say we're going to do it,
Do it.
we get up and we gone.
I don't think they be prepared.
They don't be prepared.
They're
They're
not
like,
prepared for that.
oh yeah, sure, they're going to come. And then we're like, all right, we here. Listen, get this, let's do this, class times is this. They're like, but we can't, we got other things to do. I'm like, you could have been listening over the internet if you was going to treat it like that. If you was going to treat it like, yeah, whatever, you could do that over the internet. But when you're ready for us to come out to these states, we need the support, we need the help, you got us. And what I mean by that is we're not trying to live in a 6-star hotel, if there's a such thing. We just want serious brothers and sisters.
That's all it takes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so don't misconstrue it like, oh, these brothers need they need a 6-star. Hell no, we'll sleep in the corner of a house.
We stayed in a closet with a bunk bed.
Yeah, we're staying in a little room. We're not about that. We're not about that either. I'm just saying, serious minded, ready.
If there be first a willing mind, that's what the scripture says.
Yeah.
And then you got to know within yourselves what you ask for.
Yeah, you gotta know.
You gotta really dedicate and desire that.
Mm-hmm. So what else? That's it?
That's it.
Okay. All right, brothers and sisters, we thank y'all for tuning in. We have Sabbath morning class. If you do, brothers and sisters, do want to donate. Now, I say this every class, not only financial. If you want to get books, papers, pens, pencils, Bibles, apocryphers, dictionaries, computers. If you don't want to give finances, give us the stuff. It helps out the school. It helps out brothers and sisters here, new brothers and sisters that come in. We would appreciate that. So the information is on the screen. If you want to do that, all right? Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and end class. We're going to say shalom, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10.
Shalom.
Yeah, that Zechariah was getting good, man.
When it comes down to here, I still got like precepts.
Okay, yeah, but I just wanted to.
Oh no, you good, you good.
No.
And then I broke down the Revelation.
Revelation what?
It goes there. You're gonna expound on.
Right. Imagine we're putting your down.
Where's Ariel? Oh,
Ghana.
Africa.
He said he's up at 3 a.m. to listen to class tonight. He's gonna set up a group because he's ready to learn.
Okay, well, hit him with the links. You know what I mean? Hit him with the links. Make sure he has my info. You know what I mean? And yeah, we just can't get dragged in another zone like that.